All right, what's up, guys? We are back. Yep, we're good to go. Welcome back to the Extravaganza. My name is Jared Singer. And before we get started, I need you guys to hit like, subscribe, share this podcast to your friends, and help the podcast grow. We are on the epic journey, and I mean epic grind of getting to 1,000 subs. It's a big deal for us. Please help us do those things. If you want to take it a step further and be a dandy of a human being, go to patreon.com/JaredSingerLive and join the Patreon. The reason we need to do this, you guys, is because we got fucking bills to pay, man. Like, it cost me, like, literally, my electric bill just for this podcast space is like $100 a month. We got equipment to maintain. We got all that kind of shit. The best way for you guys to help support the podcast so we can continue to grow, upgrade, and just even maintain the gear. If the computer, the mixer, something shits out, whatever, we need to be able to replace this equipment so we can keep producing this content for you guys. So please, the best way to do that is to go to patreon.com/JaredSingerLive. You can jump in and do a monthly thing. There's 3 different tiers depending on how much you got to burn. It's a lot easier than fucking what most of us do with our money. You just literally could just light that shit on fire, but you know, whatever. Anyways, this episode of the podcast is sponsored by my other YouTube channel. Go to the top of my YouTube page, Jared Singer Extravaganza, and I need you to subscribe to Late as Fuck. It's going to be reactions of old shit. Me and Sean Ware from B, we're going to watch old shit and see how it held up, whether it's music, music videos, TV shows, movies, and we're going to react to it. And I already want to do F Troop because I know there's a bunch of shit that used to be funny, and now it's super racist, and it's going to be great. It's going to be very entertaining because, I mean, Sean's involved. Anything Sean does is going to be awesome. So this episode of the podcast is also sponsored by Shooter Lube. It's not sex stuff, so keep it away and out of all your sex holes. It is gun cleaning equipment. Well, not equipment. It's stuff. It's stuff for cleaning your fucking guns. I actually do use this stuff. So a lot of you fucks went and bought guns during the pandemic, which is smart. And then a lot of you guys, I noticed, because fucking lanes are busier than shit, a lot of you guys are shooting guns, which is great, because that's the first thing you need to be to do to be a responsible gun owner. But you also got to clean them. And I noticed that a lot of you guys have no idea that's even a thing or what to do or how to do it. Well, step one is go to fucking shooterlube.com and join the revolution and use promo code SINGER to save yourself 15% off America's best 2-stage cleaning system. With the military-grade cleaning solvent, the new technology has you cleaning your gun better than ever. New solvent is designed to penetrate deep into the pores of the metal, cleaning carbon buildup in less time than other leading solvents. You can feel good knowing that you're cleaning your firearms with a... I'm not fucking finishing that stupid sentence. I gotta erase that. I gotta rewrite this. We set new standards. That one's gotta go too. Your firearm maintenance should not be banished to the garage or outside because of harsh chemicals and smells that other leading solvents use. You know what though? You could banish your wife outside to the garage because if she's complaining about you protecting her life and keeping the weapons clean, I mean, maybe you don't keep that wife and get a better one. I'm just saying. It's odorless, there's no water, it fully evaporates, leaves no residue, there's no hazardous ingredients per the EPA, high flashpoint, non-corrosive, does not freeze, and it's non-flammable. Second stage is the Extreme Weapons Oil. Standard gun lubricants and CLPs, those are outdated and a thing of the past. Shooter Lube Extreme Weapons Oil is different. It's built different. With the new cutting-edge technology, we created a new level of gun lubrication and protection. Unlike many other gun oils, they just sit there on the surface. The Extreme Weapons Oil penetrates deep into the pores of the metal. It forms a bond on and in the metal that does not wipe off, wear off, melt, or evaporate with heavy use, and you can feel confident using your weapon to its fullest potential. It's biodegradable, non-flammable, non-toxic. It's 100% synthetic. They're low odor, non-staining, rust and corrosion protection, and it reduces wear and motherfucking friction. Again, not sex stuff though, so keep it out of and away from all your sex holes. Shooter Lube is offering free shipping on all orders over $35 with 100% money back satisfaction guarantee. This episode of the podcast is also sponsored by WeHost.WernerElements.com. This is where I host my website, you guys. I'm still not finished, which is why I don't really pimp it out that much, but if you guys want to, wherever you are on the globe, if you want to go watch the podcast episodes, you can go to JaredSinger.com or JaredSingerLive.com and you can fucking sign up for a mailing list. I'm not pimping it because we're not really ready, but we're gonna do a bunch of cool shit with the website. And whatever you're doing, I'm talking to my boy over here. It's a website, bitch. You gotta sell some shit online. He needs a Twitch, he needs a social media, he knows. Well, where do you start? First step is you go to wehost.work. Werner Elements, that's WEHOST.WernerElements, RNER Elements.com. This is exclusive for Jared Singer Extravaganza listeners. And for less than $100, you can get your own domain registration, free domain registration. You get a year's worth of web hosting, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited storage space, unlimited emails. And there's one more thing in there I forgot. Oh, and a carbon-free footprint. So you can be fucking all hippy-dippy and green and everything's all good, right? So go to wehost.wernerelements.com and use promo code SINGER to get all that for less than $100 and get your side hustle on, bro. Y'all are fucking slacking. All right, enough for the promos today. All right, here's the deal. My guest for today is his name's Kyle Skogquist, and he's a real piece of shit. I can't fucking stand this guy. I'm just kidding. He's actually sitting here while I'm reading this promo. Some people are like, oh my God, what's wrong with him? No, Kyle's a great guy. He's a local legend. Been in a bunch of shit over the years. I'm not even going to do it. We'll just get into this. So with no further ado, don't fucking say anything. With no further ado, welcome to the podcast, Kyle. And boom, shakalaka, we're fucking live. Here we are. Kyle Glidden, sir. Thanks for. Oh,
I thought I wiped that up, didn't I?
I mean, you are both gorgeous. You guys are both gorgeous, and it's funny because I actually accidentally texted him too when I was trying to text you some shit.
Where are you? What are you talking about?
Kyle Skogquist. See, and I realize even when I try to say Skogquist, I say Skogquist.
Nobody says it right.
I can't not say Skogquist at this point.
It was originally Skogquist.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure, you betcha.
Oh, that makes sense, bud. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Swedish for forest branch.
Is that really what it is?
Well, forest branch.
And then
Jensen from the Haunted.
But forest branch and then flex. And then flex.
12-inch python, brother. But are we streaming? Are we
yep,
live?
we're live.
We are really, yeah.
We're live,
streaming.
and I can't swim. Highly aroused.
Yeah, I know. Remember?
Yeah.
we're streaming. You can't swim.
That's right. What I got.
I'm very aroused.
I'll get better.
I did. I almost drowned you once.
Yeah, Ben didn't know.
But I saved your life, so.
Jim swam me out. You saved me.
Oh, really?
All right. Guys. Not everybody is already in on the inside jokes. I know you guys have known each other for 70 years.
No, for real. I saved his life.
But
I also almost tried to kill him.
For people that don't know, Kyle, will you quickly tell people who you are and what you do?
Hello, my name is Kyle. I've played music in the Twin Cities scene in various forms. You may have seen me in bands such as Revelance, For Blood, Climactic, Taylor, Reaping as Medea, The Body Beneath, Gravesig, Rock and Roll. And we'll stop there.
Is that it? I thought there was a couple more.
There's some more, but we'll stop there.
What's this record you brought?
That is my latest endeavor, a band called Thor. It was a 2020 release. Got a couple tracks on this album. With Tom Croxton, John Leibel, Matt Hamilton. Dad is actually he's on one of the.
No shit. Huh?
Looking for something more recent. Find this pretty much on any streaming platform. It's called.
That's dope. Yeah. And you brought a vinyl.
Sure.
Is that for me? Do I get
actually
to keep
my dad's copy? Otherwise, I would get.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're not worthy to hold.
You can check it out though.
The Mjolnir record.
I'm fucking worthy, bro. I'm fucking worthy, bro.
Not worthy.
I'll tell you.
All right.
Who's fucking worthy?
You can be the Steve Rogers in this situation.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Thanks for having me, Jared.
I appreciate you coming, man. It's an honor.
Plenty of a deal.
I'm fucking struggling with some stuff. The viewers know the beginning of these podcasts are always rough because something always goes wrong. What went wrong today? the fucking chat isn't working again. So I press this button and nothing happens in chat over there. So usually you just go over here and you're like, hey, let's do this. And it opens up a Chrome browser real quick, and then we fix the problem. And that's not working. So I don't know what to do about it.
You broke it.
I don't know if there is anything I can do about it.
Mm.
Seriously, it's driving me nuts, though. It's like genuinely pissing me off. Because it was just working right before we started this podcast. I tested it on the other one when we were doing the warm-up. The dry run. Just infuriating.
The dry run.
Yeah.
Those are usually rough.
They are fucking rough. Jesus Christ. All right, fuck it. I guess I can't do chat. You guys can chat, but I can't chat. I can't do anything.
Oh, see, there it is.
Yeah, she's in there. Somebody's in there. Hello, Megan. See, she's a loyal subscriber from last time. You know how I know that?
Hello, Mrs.
Because she's already chatting.
Yep.
See, we had to change the rules because we had some wild motherfuckers coming into chat. So now you have to subscribe, and then you got to hang out for a half hour before you can comment. You can't just come in here, say some wild shit, and bounce out of here. Sounds weird. You got to do what you got to do.
Got out the riffraff somehow.
Yep. So thank you for joining us, Megan, and anybody else who's watching this. Appreciate it.
That's my wife.
That's my wife.
That's my wife.
Whoa, whoa, woo. I gotta grab something real quick. Hold on.
She's very supportive.
How you doing, Ben?
You know, I'm keeping it together.
Ben and I actually haven't seen each other in many years, so this is a nice mini Revelance reunion.
Yeah, so you moved to Michigan. Michigan. I don't know what the fuck is going. Michigan. So you moved to Michigan quite a while ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Now, did you move there to get away from music, or was that just part of it?
Not intentionally. No, actually, met my wife. She is from there.
I met my wife.
She's from there, and ended up moving out there, starting a family. My son is actually 4.5 now, kind of crazy. And been out there for 5 years and taking a break from music after about 18 years hard at it, and
nice.
Not really realizing it until taking a break that I really needed. There were certain elements I was getting kind of burnt out on, and I needed a new focus in life. Worked out great. Plan is to move the fam and I back to Minnesota probably within the next year and plug back into music and get back to it.
So why are you leaving Michigan and coming back here?
My wife's she has 2 other sons, and her middle son senior this year. So the original game plan was once they both are graduated, then we move out here, and then our son is old enough for kindergarten. And then it would be
so there's no like crazy loyalty to Michigan.
No, I mean Michigan is cool, and actually in a lot of ways it's pretty similar landscape to Minnesota, but like it just doesn't feel like home to me. Like the most at home that I felt there was actually at a Bob Seger. You know, he's the hometown hero, and everybody was arm in arm singing all the lyrics. But
it's old Bobby Siegs, baby.
That's right. So I mean, like rock and roll is like alive and well in Michigan. Like I've seen like tons of awesome concerts out there, but like it just isn't home.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Plus, there's some crazy shit happening out in fucking Michigan right now, man. How'd you guys deal with the lockdown? Because yours went on longer than pretty much anybody's in the country, right? Isn't it still kind of going on? Like, how'd you get out? How'd you get out, man?
Right. Well,
smoke grenades.
How'd you get out of Michigan, bro?
Essential employees. So, like, I got that little paper pass.
It's like Escape from LA meets
the hall pass.
I got the hall pass.
The bathroom.
It's Escape from New York or Escape from LA meets fucking North Korea.
Yeah,
you need,
exactly.
You need papers at the border.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I don't mind wearing the mask.
I'm not talking about the mask. I'm talking about the actual lockdown. I swear to God, I thought you were gonna go. You know, I don't mind fascism. You know, it's whatever.
Right.
I swear to God, I thought that you were.
The outfits are cool.
Yeah.
No, you know who else moved to fucking...
They're comfy.
You know who else moved up there is Joe Knox, Jeremy's old singer of Dying Euphoria. He moved up to the UP.
Really?
Fucking, yeah.
He's a Youper?
Yeah, he's a Youper.
Huh. I did not know that.
I got family out in Michigan, too.
What part?
Upper Peninsula. Shithole. Now, UP is beautiful, man.
It's more of a handle.
Oh, my God. So are you still doing puns? You basically started. You basically started
Does a bear shit in the woods?
because you started.
I've tried to.
Because you started a problem. You started you started a fucking problem.
Dude, I was.
And then you left and can't be held accountable for it. So starting here.
Accountable for what?
So you started
Switching
Alex.
to Geico.
You started Alex on puns when you guys worked together at the pawn shop.
I didn't start. He was a natural. He had it going.
But you fuck you. You had already started it, and he caught on. And dude, you started something that has taken over the Minneapolis music scene. And you've been gone for 10 or 12 years, and it seems like 10 or 12 years, and it's still happening.
Well, you know,
It's
That's
still a
because
thing.
all the Revelance fans are growing up and starting little bands of themselves.
right? Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what, Alex and I, we were in the pawn shop industry, and it just that's
The
what
pawn
happened.
shop.
You guys were the pun stars, yeah.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just natural.
Just came naturally.
Back naturally.
Probably gonna get the breaking so many copyrights already that we're
So you got a new project you're doing, and it's a Motorhead tribute band.
Yeah, well, Climatic technically never broke up. We're actually working on the second album finally to get that completed. Daniel Copy is on drums. Eric Kais is back on vocals. Tim Morton and I on guitar and bass. So we're shooting. We were trying to shoot to have something to show today. Didn't pan out, so time we got something to remind people, and then we'll have something new hopefully later on this year. But yeah, I am also starting up a new Motorhead tribute, Motorhead City, that will be up and running here in the Twin Cities, hopefully. Well,
That'd be dope.
yeah.
Tribute bands make fucking money, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I mean, we're doing Mixter and Tom Croxton and we had a Motorhead tribute called Rock and Roll.
The band was just called Rock and Roll.
with the umlauts.
Greatest band name of all time.
very specific.
But honestly, greatest band name of all time.
Yeah.
Your band name is Rock and Roll. How come nobody's done that already?
It's
let
like
me-
free beer, rock and roll.
Well, Lemmy would always come out and say, "We are
Hookers
Motorhead.
and blow.
We are Motorhead, and we play rock and roll." And I would say, "We are rock and roll. We play Motorhead." So that's where the name came from.
That's brilliant.
And we just added the umlauts to make it, set it aside from.
To show everyone you're better than they are.
Motorhead.
That's right.
Motorhead.
That's right.
Rook and rule.
Everything okay there, Mr. Jared?
Trying to see if I can get this fucking chat up and running.
Oh,
It's killing me.
Nobody wants to talk to us.
Nobody.
Dude,
Nobody.
the way
Hey,
you
what's
just
up,
said
Nick?
that, the way you just said that, you reminded me of this TikTok I follow. I can't remember his name, but he dresses super
Beer.
old school, and I think he lives in the northern peninsula of Michigan in like a little cabin. Every TikTok video starts with he goes, "Oh, hello, buddy," and he talks really softly. He's like, join me for some creamsicle soda and Donkey Kong. And then he like chops all his ingredients up, he makes whatever he's making, and then he like takes a drink or takes a bite or whatever, and then the last scene is like he plugs in the Super Nintendo game and turns it on or whatever, dude, or
Donkey
like
Kong.
join me for steak and Big Trouble Little China. Oh, hello, buddy. I have to find his handle, dude. He's one of the best follows on TikTok,
good
dude.
shit.
It's great. And the best thing is TikTok has somehow figured out to play me his videos in the morning. So I wake up, I'm groggy, I light up a cigarette, I sit on the shitter, I open up TikTok, and he goes, "Oh, hello, buddy." And I'm like, "Oh, hello."
Oh,
Oh, hello.
best shit ever.
No, it's great, dude. Dude, TikTok is a wild place, man. And I think my content is really shitty on TikTok. Most of the content is really shitty on TikTok, but there are some cool fucking follows on TikTok. If you know how to like search for shit that you're actually going to be into, there's some really, really fascinating shit on TikTok. And a lot of disinformation.
Yeah.
A lot of disinformation.
But it again, it's scary how quick it picks up on like the crap you like or you know, like that you actually engage.
The Garth algorithms?
Yeah, Garth algorithm. Excuse me. Like to get by now.
Excuse me. So Ben, what have you been up to?
About 5'9".
Yeah.
It's so funny. People give me shit for talking too much, but as soon as I stop, like there's huge wafts of dead silence. All I'm doing is I'm over here just double checking my shit works.
We're just curious what you're doing.
Yeah.
Usually I click this one button.
I'm curious by nature.
I thought you were naughty by nature.
I don't get it.
That's way before your time.
No, I get that. Sorry. I don't get why the chat thing's not working. It makes no sense.
Maybe it's all crisscrossed.
We'll keep the chit chatting this way.
Yeah, no, Brad, I know I can see a chat. What's up, Nick? Thanks for dropping in. What's up, Brad? I can see that you guys, your chat's working. My chat commands aren't working. I'm supposed to be able to just hit a button here and throw pre-programmed things in for you guys, and it's not allowing me to do that. And it was working when we were doing our pre-production fake podcast that we do. So
wait, that was fake?
Yeah.
It wasn't real?
Yeah, that whole time it was fake. That's why I had all my clothes off.
Oh, blew my mind.
I was volunteering at what I thought was a food kitchen.
Today we're going to make chocolate cake.
Today. Oh, hello, dear.
Hello, dear.
I knew this was going to go off the rails so fast.
Well, again, yeah, like we were talking about, he's like, oh, I suppose like, hopefully, I got to remind myself of the things that are appropriate. I was like, well, man, 90% of what we did, or pretty much everything we used to do, was inappropriate.
Right. Well, unfortunately, most of it was movie references.
Yeah.
So before this goes too far off the rails, let me try to get some legitimate questions in. So I'm curious, because I've talked to these guys and how they started and shit. So in the first place, when you were a little baby, what drew
Little
you?
Baby sass.
What possessed you to make music? It's one of the best and one of the worst things you could possibly do with your life. Seriously, it's one of the best things I've ever done, and it's also one of the worst decisions I've ever made. So I'm just always curious as to like what draws other people to that. Did you want to be a famous rock star? Did you want to get rich? Did you just, like, some of us just wanted pussy. We couldn't figure out how to get girls. And we knew that if you were a rock star or even just played guitar, you got girls. Sometimes it's just that simple. It's not always this big, deep thing.
I grew up around it, actually. My family is very musical. Earliest memories I have are actually watching my dad play in his band and my grandpa playing in his band. And my dad and my grandpa had a side project that they would do, and I would go to my dad's gigs at a very early age. And I don't know, I was surrounded by music growing up and being around all the gear, and I felt gravitated to try that myself. And my dad's still playing band to this day, like 40 gigs booked for this year, and wow, Dad, did your parents being
staying busy when nobody else is,
being from a musical family, did they encourage you to get into music, or was it just kind of like, well, if you're gonna do it, well,
yeah, I mean, they got me started on drum lessons at like age of 7. I took a couple years of piano lessons, and like, I mean, they were leaving it up to me. They weren't like pushing me into it, but like I did sports in elementary school and junior high, and it found out very quickly that there was a lot of politics that I didn't like involved with that. And I remember, you know, I was already somewhat versed in drums and piano at the time, but at the age of 13, I remember telling my basketball coach that I quit because I'm gonna pick up a guitar, and it felt really empowering at the time. And you know, becoming a teenager and you know just wanting to be different than everybody else. I guess like as a teenager, that was my main reason for pursuing guitar and bass and vocals, is I wanted to do something different than everybody else, and I wanted to figure out, you know, a unique way to express myself. And I always felt like I was kind of born a generation too late. Like in high school, like I was into all the 70s and 80s rock bands that, you know, all my friends' parents were into. I wasn't into the grunge scene. So like I kind of felt like a loner as far as the type of bands that I would listen to, but it also felt cool because it's like, okay, well, I can utilize those influences in my playing and my show, and it, you know, it's not the mainstream thing, you know. So
yeah, because I've talked to Jeremy about this. When Revelance first came out, you guys were not like doing music that had just been popular. Like I don't think
at all.
I don't think it's easy to comprehend this, because when you were basically you were doing like something between thrash metal and black metal when you guys first started, because I've seen those old VHSs, so I don't care what you guys said you were trying to do. That's what it actually sounded like. It was somewhere between just straight up old school thrash metal and like a little bit of black metal in there, like especially with the vocal stylings and stuff. But regardless,
Shadows.
it wasn't. And I think this was actually even before you joined the band. Like I'm saying when you guys first started.
When
you were a way different band.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you guys evolved so much.
That was the era of personas.
Yeah, we've changed actually a lot as far as our looks and our sound. Like even before what you're describing, that was like 2000 to like 2003.
Yep.
Like when Jeremy and I first met, we were all out. You know, like we were the hair metal dudes, and like then like we started to kind of go darker with it and add like a gothic thing, and like, oh dude, gothic glam, that's original.
Yep.
And then from there we dropped
that's
the glam.
original.
Yeah. Oh, we thought so.
Hey,
we were very deep thinkers.
We've all had that. This is original moment that was.
Dude, side note. This is going to get us distracted, but here's another version of shit that we did back then. I gave Greg Moog so much shit, and he got confused and almost pissed off online till he came back on the podcast, and he's like, so what are you talking about? And then as soon as I explained it, he was like, you're totally right. You remember in the nu metal era when guys all went by nicknames that were impossible to remember
like
or
Meeks.
spell? Yeah, like shit like that, or E. Like somebody in Black Flood Diesel was just known as E. And I was just laughing because I was like, that's the most nu metal shit ever. And he's like, what? And I was like, creating a marketing name for yourself that no one will remember is way too common. Like it's E is harder to remember and more common than Adam. You know what I mean? Like whatever your normal name is, just keep that, because here we are years later and now that's a dated thing. Yeah. Like thank God Ice Cube, that name aged well. Thank God Ice-T aged well. Thank God Snoop aged well. And I'm not even talking the people, I'm talking their names. Because if they're gimmicky and they're perfect for the era, 10 years later, you're going to be humiliated, embarrassed you ever did that. And we all did shit like that.
Well,
remember, some of us would like, you guys didn't do this. Revelance was way different. But the rest of us, we would like
differently
in cold storage, right? That was you guys didn't do it either. But there were bands that would misspell shit, put a letter backwards. You know what I mean? And now you're just stuck in that 04 era, basically. You know, I don't know. It's just something like
that's something different though.
We're like, oh, that's original.
Nicknames are something that you don't give yourself. You don't give yourself a nickname and expect
I think we did when we were.
I mean, I had a nickname.
Did you?
I'm known by a nickname.
You want to tell everyone what it is?
Yeah. Well, dude, Deco. It's in parentheses
okay.
in my episode.
I just wanted to make sure because the way you were referencing it was like.
No, that's Mike Bluba gave it to me because he was giggling like a little girl over Cheech and Chong. Hey, bandacos. Like,
That's
yeah,
where it
it's
came
pretty
from.
demeaning, but it's pretty hilarious. I always thought it was funny. I always said everybody calls me asshole, and then I realized really what it really does mean. So. But it's still pretty good.
Well, you know, the whole nu metal thing was very popular. Like when Jeremy and I were going with Revelance, and like the flyer that actually got us booked into our first city show at the Lab later on Station 4, we actually had no rap, no turntables, the way metal was meant to be on the flyer with Jeremy's pager number. And Ben Hansen from Anal Blast and Nailed Shut was actually who gave that number a call, and gave us our first city show.
That's dope as fuck. And I hope people understand what I'm trying to get at or what I'm inferring here, because you weren't. So what came right before nu metal? Were we still coming out of, it was alternative music, right? Because it was grunge, and then you had like that ska shit, right?
Yeah.
And then you had like alternative music, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't another genre in between those two, right?
And
So
White Zombie and Pantera.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say,
but those were still, but those
they were on their own.
and and they had been around for a while, because you still had Metallica too.
The trendsetters,
But no, like I'm talking just that cliche popular wave that hit every 5 to 10 years.
Alternative and grunge were,
because we talked about this the other day on the phone. Like 2020 doesn't have a look or a sound. And the last time there was a look or a sound that embodied a decade was maybe you could say the metalcore.
Yeah, I strongly agree with that. I think.
I mean, it was yours. I'm just
last
regurgitating your thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, to me, that was like the last strong movement in metal and rock that was recognizable or like had any sort of a look or definition outside of the music.
I think you're right, because fucking before that you had nu metal. There's a sound and a look, group of bands. Then you had, like I said, alternative was whatever, but you had ska, you had grunge, then you had glam metal. I mean, you can go back and look, and it's just weird because like we did and made a lot of bad decisions as bands back then. Like I said, my favorite example are the nicknames I think a lot of us did give them to ourselves. And like the way we would intentionally misspell our band names because we thought it was cool and original, and it's like it just makes it really hard to search on the internet.
Again, Revelance is a good because it's not
technically a word, but it's actually it's 2 words.
No, Revelance is a great band name.
Oh yeah,
because no one ever forgot it.
It's a one word.
Some people did say when they couldn't remember your name, they'd seen you once. Somebody would be like, "Is it Relevance?" And I'd go Revelance, and they'd go, "Yeah, that's it."
Yeah.
That was it, but that's still super close.
Yeah, I mean, like it's cool. Like I don't know if people know, but Revel is like more or less the act of celebrating or partying, or is partying, and then ents is like the act of. So like you put them together, it's like the
act of reveling, the act of reveling.
We were this close to being Andrew WK.
You basically created a noun, is what you did.
Yeah,
they were in their revelance.
Or a verb.
Jeremy actually at the time worked at Coles.
Actually,
he was walking
consecutive verb. Is that what it's called?
I think he was walking past the Revlon section at Coles when he came up with the name, because I got
Revlon.
Yeah, Jeremy actually came up with
big hair guy.
But back then we did wear makeup. We did wear glam makeup at first, and then like we started gradually getting into the black metal makeup, but we were still laughing and smiling, so like it was taboo.
Very much so.
But Jeremy mentioned the story on his episode, but we met in high school in jazz band, and kind of inadvertently,
you dated for like 9 months.
We did, and then found out we're better as friends, but then we started dating again anyways.
Yeah. And then you were just friends with benefits for solid 5 years.
Yeah, and then we're just like, okay, let's just get in the band, and it's all okay. But no,
let's voice our.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we've always like had a big vision, whatever genre we were doing at the time in Revelance, and we were never out to go along with what was popular. Like we had our own influences, and we tried combining those influences in a way that we thought was somewhat original, and bottom line is we always like made an event out of even flyering. We would get dressed up to go hand out flyers or like go to the movies.
It's like the cold storage picture where you guys are there in Gene Simmons makeup.
Yeah,
or in Kiss makeup, you know, you're Gene and he's
Ace.
We
would dress up like Kiss a lot, you were just to go out, you know. Oh, is Kiss in town? No, you know, we're just
here, have a flyer though.
We're just two assholes in makeup.
No, come see us.
And people would remember, and it wasn't like a marketing gimmick.
I'm
or
just
anything.
fucking around.
Jeremy and I just liked making everything an event. Like when we saw the movie Rockstar, we went and grabbed all of our glam metal clothes and put on makeup, and you know looked more over the top than our girlfriends that went with us at the time, and like we just have always
per the usual.
We were always, I don't know, we always look back on it as like, you know, we were pretty naive in a lot of ways, but like, you know, like the world, you know, the sky really was the limit back then. Like we thought nothing of really anything. Like I wrote Jane Andrews, Judas Priest's management at the time. I wrote them a letter and asked if Relevance could open up for Judas Priest on their next tour, realizing that, okay, well, why should they give that slot to us? But like, you know, we were kids. Are like, well, why not? We're dreaming big and we're hungry. And she actually wrote a letter back. I still got the letter, and she, you know, kindly declining.
We're dreaming big and we're hungry. He says.
There he is.
Hey,
I'm coming in hot.
Oh no!
Oh!
Jeremy Blake, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. What are you going by these days?
It's like that scene in Chips when he gets
Blakey.
a full
Lil
Blakey
Blakey.
germ.
No, it's Lil Blakey.
Little Blakey?
Lil Blakey.
Lil Blake.
Right now I'm going by the guy who went down the one-way on Fremont. I seriously
No, the guy.
Did you?
I never take the alley. Ever.
Everybody's like,
See it, brother?
oh yeah. It's all right.
That's what I told it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we got within the band we've always had a secret horn shake called the horn shake
that we do with everybody.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
It was actually probably a way Jeremy and I annoyed a lot of people when we were flyering, like, you know, shaking everybody's hands. Get the horns up. Nope, you got to get the horns up. But now it's been seen in movies and other bands are doing it. But
You know what you're doing.
were you wireless?
Jeremy's been here before. He knows what he's doing.
Well, that goes in my butt.
No, it should be in the table. I just don't know what side it's on. You might have to.
I'm gonna feel for the wet spot.
It's probably on Ben's side.
Wrong side.
Oh,
You see it?
I can't
You see it?
find it.
Wrong hole, fool.
You see it? Wrong hole. Boo. I think I'm pregnant. Already? I got 7 kids,
Don't
boo.
mind me. We're gonna play a little game. You all just watch to see whose face and goes, "Woo!"
That's cutting in and out.
Everybody at the same time. Oh.
No, get it all plugged in first. We'll
do
handle it.
Do it. Oh.
I do not need a microphone.
But that so while they're doing this, that, you know, you talk about making it an event and everything like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure the last time I talked to you and we talked on the phone the other night, and like I probably haven't told it to him, but like
You might have to grab the back.
that was the deal about you guys. Like when you would come out, that's why like it
Can you
did
hear
turn
us?
into such a thing, is because it was such a, you know, a positive attitude, like naive as it may have been or whatever you may think it was. Like it was still pretty infectious, you know. Like it just made, like, if everybody thought that, you know, thought they were, you know, like the. Like he mentioned at mine, you know,
Test.
that what hurt us was that everybody thought they were just our friends and that it wasn't anybody coming down to see us.
Oh, right.
It was just all our friends. Well, it was like yes and no. It was, yeah, everybody was our friends because, you know, we were friendly.
We kind of maintain the same personality off stage as we did on stage, like, and that's
To
what
say
I
the
think what made the band unique is, I mean,
That's why there was 12 minutes in between every song.
Yeah, well, you're right. One is as evil or heavy looking as we would look. I mean, like I said, we would still be laughing and joking around. Where if you have any sort of black metal image, you just don't do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I don't know.
You're looking for churches,
Right?
Hiya!
You know, the other thing that we did too was
Why is that echoing like that? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
I believe he requested a flanger.
A chorus.
Without delay.
He's going the 13-step route. Lots of chorus.
What are you doing?
Lots of chorus.
drinking my Fiji. I don't go on without Fiji.
Don't you want some water?
Oh, that's is mine? Is mine?
No.
You all sound superb.
Am I?
And you two are running through the same interface on back-to-back channels.
Is it the whole? Need this one instead? That. Thing I learned about being a carpenter: if it don't fit, force it.
Got the damn thing twice and it's still too short.
I suppose it should be that one. That's the one that's Velcroed to it, huh?
Yeah, you would think.
All right.
We'll just keep that.
You
Why
know,
am I still talking? Hey, everybody.
this one goes in your ear. This one goes in. This one goes in your butt.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
No. This
Echo
one.
Lima Foxtrot.
It ain't my job. Fuck you on your birthday.
Hey, it's like an early Revelant show.
It kind of is.
Technical difficulties.
Right.
Chris, drum solo.
Ding
drum
ding.
solo.
Ding
Chris,
ding.
play a drum solo.
If I could play friggin' Space Grass right now, I would. Ding 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 ding.
We had ways of getting through technical difficulties, didn't we?
Anybody know a joke?
Hey.
So Ben, if you were looking to go
That's a little
to
better.
belly button school, would you
Hello.
say you need to enroll in a naval academy?
You know, oddly enough, I'm actually now not hearing you in the headphones.
You?
You can't hear me?
I'm actually not hearing anybody in the headphones.
I can hear
You got
everybody.
honey in your voice. I
I
you
can hear you in the headphones without the echo.
Well,
Let me know in the comments, guys, if Jeremy's mic is echoing in the stream. If your mic's not echoing in the stream, then I'll just fuck with it on our end.
all right.
That is what we are.
Hey, everybody.
Islands in the stream.
Stand up and shout! I brought some twisted teas in case anybody dropped the N-bomb. I could hit him in the face.
Hit them in the face.
That's what you do with these.
They are legally a weapon in some states.
How was the House of Wong?
Well, we entered the Wong house at first, but
It was the right
once
place,
we
but the
found-
Wong house.
Once we found the place, it was delightful. But that was 20 minutes ago. I'm hungry again.
Well, it is Chinese
Gave my order
food.
to Jimmy Wang.
No, it was delightful. Amazing food.
Pat didn't have a good time, but
Pat got there
way too late.
like 40 minutes after we ate. Or 40 minutes after we got there.
Yes.
So you
So,
deserve like
so we realized we had just a little bit of time to get over here, and then realized we needed our checks. It was a tough time.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I didn't. Another reason I didn't come, because I was like 3:30. There's no way I make it back here and do a quality setup.
You've done this before.
A couple times, yeah. And some shit
Tuesday.
always goes wrong. Something always goes wrong. This week again, it's my fucking.
Well,
You're
you got
like-
Revelant
you're
on,
like,
so
fuck all that,
something's
then.
definitely gonna go
All
wrong.
it's doing is making my ears warm.
It's so warm.
Which normally I like, but
You like having your ears
I think I
warm,
fixed it.
He's more of a sort of guy.
Yeah.
I don't hear the fucking.
yeah.
Hey,
Got nothing.
You
Can't hear my
anything?
snare.
Hold on. Doesn't make any sense.
dollars.
Makes dollars.
You can't hear anything.
No, I mean I can hear you, actually you, out of your mouth, but
Can
not-
you hear yourself?
No, I don't.
Plug the headphones back in. You must have fucked them up. You probably pushed. You gotta hold the back of it. It's not really mounted in there. They're probably not plugged in, dude.
Now, how about now? Now, how about now? Now, how about now? This is a good enough
This is
show
another-
right here.
Yeah. This is another reason why I don't like having 4 people anymore. There's just too much shit that can go wrong.
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
like having 47 pedals for your live rig on guitar. It's like, dude, you're just begging for a disaster.
It's in the hole,
And you still can't hear anything?
and I can hear you,
Just me?
and you,
And me?
and you all sound phenomenal.
Yeah, and I don't hear the echo anymore.
No, I don't.
Do you guys hear the
either.
echo?
Nope.
No, we're good.
Look at that.
Let's go.
There is still a
let's
little bit
go.
of an echo.
Yeah, but that's the reverb. I'm pretty
So Ben, prior to Revelance, you were in a band called Cold Storage. Tell us
moldy
about that.
porridge. You know?
No, that was not a band. That was
An
a refrigeration
experience.
company.
It's actually
was.
it's a place down on Central. Pretty sure.
Yep, I've seen the signs.
A little bit further from the crab house, but yeah, it was a good time. We
Yeah,
played music.
Jeremy and I would come see you guys at the Quest for Mayhems quite often. Usually, with Steve Wolf would always be introducing you.
Yeah, that's because we had him sing a song.
Oh,
But-
that's right.
But Steve was a good dude. Steve is actually the first person I ever met from the cities.
Really?
I was. I don't remember why I was in the cities, but it was for something for school. Why, what, or whatever. I think it was that Festival of Nations or whatever they used to have.
yeah, Civic Center.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to go to the mall, so I went to Hot Topic, and Steve used to work at the Hot Topic in the mall.
Okay, I remember
And so he would tell me about everything. Yeah. And then we were just talking about this.
that. Phil, we were
Yeah.
there.
Phil, we were there.
Well, now we have a visual
A
representation.
visual reference.
Oh, is that the Revel horns?
They can zoom in.
No, this is
Yeah, they can zoom in.
Kyle and I dressed as
Just pinch your YouTube screen.
Kyle and I dressed as Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons randomly at a cold storage show
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the Quest.
at the Quest.
I'm pretty sure there's a point where you are actually open mouth kissing Mike as he's singing over you and to serenade you.
Yeah, man, those for me.
Yeah, mine went dead. No, yeah, they were a lot of fun. That was like that's something I wish we could have done. Like,
Yeah.
is to have a club like that to play at. I mean, not that the places that we were at were awful by any means, but I mean, like, again, I told you a couple times, like, the most excited I ever was when we got to play main stage First Avenue, because
Right.
again, it was a different name, you know. I mean, we got lucky, you know. Like, in my mind, I never got to play there. I was at the entry all the time, but like, again, that was it didn't feel it didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be playing at the Quest,
Yeah, and it was like
was
like-
awesome.
really a popular venue at the time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy and I each got to play the Quest later on, but it was when it was called Epic, and it
Yeah.
was. I mean, it was still cool.
Fuck you, Juice.
But it wasn't. It didn't have the that same impact as the Quest had. Like
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, yeah. Again, that was even up. Yeah. Mainstays was the place to be, and like that's one thing I always thought was really cool is that we got to play on that stage so much,
Yeah.
and that it felt as comfortable as it did. Like, it did feel like a home stage for that band.
yeah, it was a whole different lineup of bands at that point too that broke up shortly after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just to like I was talking about, it's good to talk to people that actually remember what happened. Like, I can't remember like any of the bands there because again, like the ones that were all popular, that everybody talks about, like, were just before me, like Sublevel, and Greg or whatever. Like, I remember those, like, they were before I even got there. I think I only seen Sublevel once. Like, I just again showed up out of nowhere and rode the coattails. but yeah, that's why again again, not that I have the greatest memory to speak of, but like I don't remember the bands like I do when we were playing. I only really remember like the people that I'm still like close with,
Right.
like Section Hate. Like they were my and Quasar. were my two favorite bands, like absolutely during that time when I was in Cold Storage.
Quasar they were huge at that time.
Yeah. They were just so friggin' intense.
Very unique.
They shit excellence. Everything they, you know, that they recorded all their stuff live, like one take, but they did it like 1,000 times. Because Cold Storage.
1,000 takes.
Yeah, but like,
So not one.
but like the one that
You
they
mean
used
like
was
no
like
punching in,
yeah,
no
yeah,
punching
it was
in, no
yeah,
editing.
yeah. They that
They did
was the way
1,000
that they did it. Yeah,
takes.
and to
That's
the point,
some old school shit like back in the fucking 40s, 50s.
but
and
they
60s.
were you know again
When they
super
had
intense dudes to do that sort of stuff. They were
Oh, they
from
recorded in
Wisconsin.
tents?
Yeah,
Oh.
like camping.
Oh,
They're-
sweet.
They were
Yeah.
super tense though.
Yeah.
So they're a little larger.
A little larger.
A bit bigger.
A bit.
A bit bigger. Drink Bailey's from a soup.
So, yeah, I'm sure everyone's heard the story, but yeah, Jeremy and I met in high school in jazz band, and from there just kind of built our vision of what a band should be.
It was a vision, all right.
Oh, I wish we could have opened our eyes.
We were magooing it.
Yeah.
Again.
No, we had a great time, and
I can't figure it out.
I mean, it was a whole, you know, it was a real innocent time, like
Yeah.
the do's and don't do's of being in a band. Like we learned it all. I mean, our first out of state gig, Jeremy, you know, thought for sure, like, you know, it was on the books, like we had it booked. Okay, we'll load up and we'll go to the gig, and we pull up to the gate, and the security guard, "Who are you guys?" "Oh, we're the band." "Okay, well the stage is over there," and they direct us the stage, and we start unloading and setting up on the stage, and this guy walks up to us and like, "Oh, what you doing?" Like, "Well, we're the band." "I don't know what contract you signed, but we're the band." And it was a band called The Originals.
We're the new originals.
We're the new original, the Tensmen. But
Is it gone?
no,
Did I just get rid of that echo?
there was
Yep.
no
Fucking
there was no
compression and
formal
gain.
like we are actually
That's the tips.
supposed to play that show. It was just kind of a
That was
friend of a
ruining my
friend
night.
said, "Yeah, you guys can play," and they were referring to the campsite. So, but fortunately, the Originals were nice enough to go ahead and let us open up anyways for them. So we got to play the show. But that was our first out-of-state show in Grantsburg, Wisconsin.
Yeah. That was quite a unique experience too.
It was, and it was. a
You
good
throw
show,
in
and-
some Ryan Reynolds and you really got something there.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
hey, you-
Seriously, that's that sort of.
Ben, your boy Dustin asked you. He wants to know when do you learn how to play guitar to be good enough to join Coldplay?
When I'm yellow too. When I'm yellow,
Fucking
too.
Coldplay. That is like one of the most slow pitch softball burns ever, but it's really good. It's still one you swing at. Like you ain't Homer in that shit.
Our chat room is lighting up here. Our AOL
Yeah,
chat
we're
room.
slowly getting some in there.
We're getting some IRC right now.
Don't worry about. We'll get to it later, dude.
We'll
It
get
gets
to-
it really gets distracting if we sit here and try to read that. It's not good podcast. If everybody's just sitting there like looking at the screen trying to read, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's that show, it was funny too because
God damn it, it's back.
we I think it might be if Kyle and I are near the mic. I'll just aim away from your mic.
Go across
maybe-
the stream.
I think that's what's happening, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now the echo's gone.
I'll go like this. There we go. Hey. Yeah, the new originals, yeah, they let us open up for them, and then that was when we found out Chris was allergic to
What?
found out Chris was allergic to
Makeup.
makeup and the colored hairspray that we were using at the time, because I can't remember the name of those lizards, but they're the ones where their eyes are like way like bugged out, and they kind of whatever. That's what Chris looked like.
Chameleon?
Is it a chameleon?
A
I don't know.
gecko? I don't know.
Or gecko?
It's a lizard with big old bug eyes.
Needless to say.
Yeah, he didn't react well
No.
because he fell asleep in it, right?
Yeah. He passed out is probably more accurate. We were
Out of state.
out of state. I was 17 still, and you were 17 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 8 and you were 9.
7.
7. Anyway,
So did you guys still play the campground?
no.
Well, we had an option to, but I think we were like,
we got some
already
time.
played the stage.
Yeah,
so
we're
we
gonna-
play the campground.
You guys really made it big that night.
And then
Right.
I think you had to go. I think you had to go back home. And then Chris and I stayed.
Oh, the
and-
streetlights were off.
and
Yeah.
partied the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I
And
think I had to work or something.
that was where I got my first taste of the out of town band playing shenanigans.
Right. What was his name again?
Dudley.
Dudley.
Doug.
Uh,
Yes. Good.
See there again. You know, that's just the can-do attitude that Revelance had. Well, we're just gonna set up over here.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are already set up. You might as well just go ahead and play.
Well, the thing is like I'm pretty positive you and I knew, like we knew that one. But we were.
Yeah, I think we learned. I think we learned early on. It's better to apologize than to ask for permission.
Yeah, ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Now
Yeah.
that I swear I've heard that
Yeah.
from you guys before.
Well, I didn't know we couldn't backline.
Oh,
no.
oh.
I don't know. Even the stage setups. I mean, like our first gig at Station 4 was an opening for two bands on a Monday night that neither one of them showed up, and I remember Bill from Demonicon was running sound that night, and we brought 13 cabinets. And I remember him just yelling at us, like, "What the hell would you guys bring all this equipment for? You're opening on a Monday night." But
That should
Jeremy-
have been on a shirt.
yeah, it should have. Jeremy and I didn't see it that way. Like, you know, we wanted to have a
This is your
production,
big opportunity, man.
and
Yeah, this
Right.
was our first chance to play in the cities. Up until then, we were playing in Elk River, and
we played the Emporium a lot.
yeah, I mean we
which
weren't
is
like
an all
a,
ages venue in Elk River.
we weren't like a quote unquote real band yet, I guess, because we hadn't made it into the cities.
That's you and I talk about that a lot. We weren't a real band yet, or when we finally became a real band, like, and that's obviously going to be different for everyone. But there is almost like a universal understanding. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I remember when I wasn't in a real band, and then it happened. What do you think it was for you guys? Like, when did you become a real band?
We actually had kind of a unique opportunity early on because, like, you know, when Jeremy and I combined forces in high school, we all of a sudden were playing all of our high schools, pep fests and coronations and picnics and senior all night parties. And I mean, I was in front of the entire school, like 2,500 people. And Jeremy and I never had really any sort of stage fright, but we got used to playing in front of crowds that size right at the beginning.
and
So-
judgmental crowds. It's your
It was
classmates.
our peers.
It
If
was
there's
really-
anybody that's gonna heckle you, it's
Yeah.
that group of
It
fucking
was
people.
really, it was really trial by fire, and that was one of the things that I remember right off the bat with you and I, because it was like the other guys we were jamming with at the time, they were kind of like, "Whoa," and you and I were kind of like, "What?
Yeah.
Like this is just what we do. We're just gonna go out here and play."
Yeah,
you know?
some of these people are our friends. Some of these people we don't know. You know?
Yeah.
And they'll let you know.
Yeah.
So
No, it-
when was the first time you got off stage and you knew it was different? You knew it wasn't just you guys fucking around. You knew it wasn't just
Never.
buddies. Like, when did you walk off stage for the first time and be like, this is like a real band? Like, we're actually like doing
Probably in
something.
For Blood and Dying Euphoria.
I refer to the when were you not fucking around part. It's like, oh,
You know, to me, I mean, I can't think of a specific moment, but I would say, I mean, it had to have been probably around the. Geez, I don't know. I guess that's a really good question, actually, that I can't answer. I was about to say, kind of like when we sort of came back, where we had finally gotten tube heads. We, for the most part, took the makeup off. Like,
So
that-
maybe it was like you could hear the difference in the band. It wasn't somebody else from the outside. So it wasn't like, oh, we had our first big crowd or we opened for X.
I mean, I guess in that regard,
It
would
it's,
probably be
it's relative, you know?
It would probably be that first chance that Joe gave us at the Urban.
Yeah, I would say so too. Like, we had everybody that was important to us at the time show up to the gig. And wasn't it a Sunday night?
Yeah, it was a Sunday
And it was,
night.
I think
Either way, we were in the
it was wintertime.
yeah,
it
we
had
were in a
snowed.
weekend slot after that.
Didn't your mom's car get towed because like it was the snowplow route or something? But I mean, like, yeah, I think that was actually a big night for us because like I think we proved to Joe, but like we proved to ourselves that like, hey, like we actually have a pretty solid support at this level.
Yeah.
From that point on, we started getting weekend gigs. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We had I think Jeremy and I had a different perception of the band majority of the time because
We were rock stars in our own minds.
yeah, I mean, just the fact that we were doing it, you know, we were excited. So
Sure.
it didn't really matter. It didn't matter like how many people were in the audience. It didn't matter.
Well, it
where
didn't
we were
matter.
playing.
Yeah.
Because we played a handful of like senior graduation parties too. The demographic
Like
was mainly,
Firewater
like,
Burn
older
style.
relatives.
Like-
yeah, and I mean, like,
Just the roof.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? That video.
Jeremy and I refer to those days, you know, so fondly because like it really didn't matter where we were playing or what we were doing. Like we were having fun. We were making it.
Yeah, I
mean,
can
it was like
definitely
the
verify that.
like the Tenacious D equivalent. Like you guys fucking, you know, you guys knew you were epic wherever you went. You know, like
Yeah.
without the, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Well, I don't think we were arrogant in our musicianship.
No,
I think
no,
you
not
gotta
at
pull
all.
That
but-
way closer to you. That's what it was. It's his mic. The whole time it's been his mic. Because you had that so far away, I cranked up the gain.
It's like we're
Yeah.
playing a Relevance gig again.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I gotta turn it down even
turn
more.
down the bass player.
There you go, perfect.
Oh man, no, I think a lot of it. Yeah, you're right because like
That's what it was.
we were just, I think because we were just so excited about every little aspect of it. I mean, think about like when we first started playing shows out in like Emporium and stuff, how pumped we were to just write a set list.
Yeah.
Remember that on the big tag board that we had, and
Yeah.
like
We would practice at writing the set lists, and we would make up multiple flyer designs for the same show. We would say, you know, collect them all, like rate them like dogs.
yeah.
You know.
In
'em,
hindsight,
got 'em,
that
need 'em,
might
need 'em,
not have been
got
the
'em.
best idea.
Yeah, people were probably confused, but I mean, like
It's when
I
I
mean-
talk. It's
even down to making
It's opening
flyers
the
and
gate.
advertising the show, like Jeremy and I would geek out on. Like
Yeah.
it just
like you
just
said,
meant-
you made everything an event because you were that excited to be doing what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were
Like,
we
you
were
just-
genuinely excited about it.
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally.
and that's how we met a lot of people too. I mean, we might have been a little abrasive and, like I said, a little naive, but like, you know, if we were, you know, adamantly trying to get you to do the horn shake, we probably like admired you in some way. And I mean, like they're
Welcome to the club.
yeah, no, put your horns up.
That's
I mean,
true. I don't know that we ever tried to get somebody we didn't care about to do the horns.
No,
It was always got to get those horns up because like you're part of the brotherhood or sisterhood. Or,
Yeah.
well, yeah, and I
You're
guess
part of the band.
yeah.
I guess that was another
Seriously.
aspect too. Is like we didn't ever look at other bands as competition. We just looked at it. Okay, well, it's another band to be
Might have been mine.
in this event. Like, you know, because like
Motherfucker.
every band was different that we were playing with, and
Yeah.
everyone brought something different to
Yeah.
the table. And in bands like Banehinge and the Chromas, Cold Colors.
See,
I mean,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, we were really never. I don't know. I know anybody can say this, but we were never like behind closed doors like a lot of bands are, and like, oh, I can't believe so and so got this opportunity, or oh, I can't.
oh,
It was never that. It was
never
always
like
just.
that.
It was always like, dude, do you see? You know, Banehinge got on whatever slot. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. You know,
Yeah,
like,
we talked about that on the phone when
Yeah.
we were booking this thing. You guys, it was clicky like that back then, and you guys legitimately changed the vibe in town almost single-handedly as a band, because you're the first and pretty much the only band I've ever heard of where even when you guys were headliners and you were dishing out the cash, everybody on the bill got paid equally. It was fucking pure communism.
Dude, it was.
I'm
But
just
honestly,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
we were. I think we were. I mean, I won't say we were the only one, but we were probably one of the only bands that, yeah, as headliners, we always split the money evenly with every
Yeah.
band, and a lot of that had to do with. Well, I just think how we are as people in general, but then on top of that, we remembered like when we were an opening band for a while, and like we would pack the place, and then when the headliner would go on, there's not many people, and then we're watching the headliner get paid all this money, and then we're getting $50 or something. And I remember us having, I don't remember it verbatim, but I remember us having some sort of conversation about, hey, if we ever become a headlining band, we're not doing that. We're splitting each band, and then that incentivizes the other bands too to flyer and to draw, because
and that yeah. And even still, that's probably why, again, for as much as you guys went out, I mean, for every show, again, I didn't do as much of it either, because I was doing whatever I was doing, but like you guys flyered for every fucking show, and you put in the work, so to share the wealth is something to say, but it was more of a share the experience, like, again, the more positive you put out, the more it was to bring back, and that really did.
Well, dude, I remember you guys playing some shows, paying out like literally, was it $600 or $700 to each band? And I remember there was a couple local bands in town that played with you like 3 times in a year, and that's how they paid for their entire record. And then I knew dozens and dozens of other bands that weren't getting paid at all, and they never made a record. like you know what I mean?
We never made a record for the record. Maybe it's because we
made T-shirts. It was pretty cool.
What is that fucking echoing? You guys got to let me know in chat if these mics are echoing, because if it's not echoing in the stream, then I'll be able to ignore it. But if it's in the stream, I gotta figure it out. So let me know if any of these mics are echoing, because it's driving me nuts in here.
I noticed.
Again, I'm sure it's
when I get excited and I get really loud, so my voice is getting picked up somewhere else.
Yeah, and somebody else's mic, and
I'm gonna try to
it.
like not get as excited, but it's really hard with these fine gentlemen.
It's just really hard.
I mean, when you're between a Kunkel and a Skogquist.
Yeah.
I think actually, you know what? I think I just figured out what it is. I think it's something to do.
That's
with
equivalent to a rock and a hard place, really.
That's right.
I mean, really, this is the first time the 3 of us have been in the same room in how many years?
At least 13.
At least 13. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a grip. I don't know how that quantifies.
I'm pretty sure the last time we all 3 were in a... Well, no, that can't be true, because you guys had shows.
Man, y'all motherfuckers are mean in chat. Everybody's talking shit about me. Finally, y'all fucking some fucking bitches, man. It took you this long before you finally came up and rolled up with some actual fucking heat.
I'm with Pat. It sounds fine, ding dong.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. Fucking Juice was giving me shit earlier, and I don't even know what he was talking about. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what's worse, Jared interrupting a good conversation to figure out what's wrong with chat, or me subscribing for a half hour to wait to give him shit about it." I'm like, "Fuck you, Juice."
Juice.
Finally,
I've been
Jared, you're back. So what have you been up to?
man, I don't want to talk about me, bro. I got 100 episodes on that.
All right.
No, you don't watch every episode. Nobody really watches every episode. But no, I got a project. I'm doing shit again. Unfortunately, can't find a reliable and creative chemistry wise rhythm section. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll track the drums again. So
that's pretty rare. It's usually pretty easy to find a drummer and a bass player.
Especially drummer.
Super easy,
right?
Yeah.
No, I know. That's the thing. It's like it's the
dozen.
same cliche as everybody else. So luckily, I can drum. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just do it.
And you can play bass.
I mean,
it is only 4 strings.
I mean, honestly, Dalton and I are gonna write and track the bass, but yeah, it is what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
There's 4.
So
right?
that and the podcast, dude, like trying to just kind of pass on the wisdom and shit that we all built over years of actually doing it right. You know, guys like you, guys like Jeremy, guys like me, Timothy, Java, Gensmer, guys that have been at different levels of the business. Because there's a bunch of us, there's a bunch of people in this industry like us that make solid livings, and none of us even know it. And they're still technically in the music business, you know, whether they're making music for video games or they're whatever, right. You know, there's a lot of different ways to make, but there's some of these kids, dude, that their band doesn't make that much money, but they got 30,000 followers on Instagram and they're doing guitar tutorials and shit. They've monetized through that. So they're able to just be full-time musicians and shit, you know, but a lot of these kids don't fucking know what they're doing when it comes to actually like being in a band. They send tracks back and forth.
It's a
They
lost
rehearse
art.
once,
Yeah,
and
you
then
gotta
show
go
up
to
on
a-
stage, like, and then wonder why nobody comes out to their shows. I'm like, well, because you guys aren't a real band. Like, going back to what we were, and that's why, like,
Monday
you
night
can,
shows and suck for a while.
Yeah,
your
right,
friends tell
right.
you, hey man, you suck.
and that's why I asked that
better.
question
Play
earlier
in front
because
of
I'm
all the other
curious.
bands
Like,
and their girlfriends.
yeah.
I'm out there in the
streets and in the clubs. I'm living it. I am rock and roll.
I ain't farting on no snare drum. But
Yeah.
for real,
I used to masturbate constantly.
I still do.
Stuttering John.
I actually still, on the rare time I go out to a live show, I still yell out Airheads quotes in between songs. I wait till the band is just inexperienced enough to let a long enough dead silence kick in, because it's always awkward, and then I just yell out, I want your body. It's so fucking great.
Rodney King.
Dude, if anybody who fucking knows that movie will, usually somebody else will start yelling out Airhead references, and it's great. And then sometimes they don't, and then it gets even more awkward because everyone just looks at you like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
I love the Rodney King one because that's so obscure. And nobody's like, Rodney King? Yeah, he's that guy.
You got any gum?
That's none of your damn business, and I'd like you to stay out of my personal life.
Hey, Kyle. hey. If the moon was made out of spare ribs, would you eat it?
I know I would.
Seriously, every night at practice. Every night. With a little bit of...
One of my favorite memories, I meant to bring it up I think it was, I don't know where we were. It was the other night. I think it was when we were out to dinner with your dad and stuff. It's such a weird, obscure memory, but it makes me laugh randomly every once in a while. It was when we were decorating the Revelance space in Anoka. Yeah. We were hanging up the posters, and we were hanging up the poster of Rob Halford.
Oh yeah.
Is this straight? Nope. How about now? Nope.
Seriously. I'm surprised that place didn't burn down.
From our practices, or just in
Well,
general?
no, just from the wiring. I wasn't a licensed
There's an old
electrician. I'm pretty sure the outlet I added wasn't appropriate.
That's right. You did.
Yeah,
You did some
behind the
home
walls.
improvements. Toolman Taylor.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Ben completely revamped our practice space, and
If
it was pretty fancy.
I knew now what I knew then.
Would've done it.
Wait, the other way.
No, actually, the last show at Star Central, I talked to Joe ahead of time and asked if we could take the drum riser in. Head Charge was the last band to play there, and that'd be fine. I'll check with somebody. And so as soon as Head Charge was done, they got their gear loaded off. Had I can't remember who, but who went in and took the drum riser and loaded it up on a flatbed trailer, and
And you took it to your space?
yeah, and
You fuck.
Did you have to cut, we had to cut it
we
in
had to-
half to.
we had to cut
get
it
it
in
down
half
there.
to get it in the space, and then Ben put it back together and reinforced it so it was actually stronger than it was before. But
Sick.
then it,
so it wasn't a liability.
It had moved to like 3 or 4 different spaces. Tom Croxton used it for his drum riser.
You
for a long
fucks.
time, but
Lucky,
it ended up
man.
getting left behind.
Clever, though.
at one of the spaces.
Yeah.
That was the 4 Blood days, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
using 4 Blood
Yeah.
and Taylor.
It sounds like what
I was
happened
there,
to us at the
wasn't I,
time
when
you
we
were
took-
here.
I
think
was
you helped
there.
load it up.
Because it was a
Yeah, I
Head
think
Charge
you
show.
and
I
Andy
was
were
there.
there, and a handful of other people.
Yeah.
I had like a fucking
Because
$1,000.
again, I was probably
worth
the
of
only
gear in
one
that
qualified to
space.
run a saw.
Probably.
What happened
At
with
least
that?
while under the influence
Jeremy, when
at
Dying,
practice.
after I left the band, when Dying Euphoria lost that space, what's the story behind that? Because I had like $1,000 worth of gear in that space, and you had gear in that space, if I remember right. Somebody else had gear in that space. It wasn't just my gear, but Danny Z was involved, and like fucking. Because I talked to Chris about it, and Chris says he came back to the space, and there was nothing but garbage in the space. So somebody came and cleared out that space,
So-
according to
Manson
Chris.
doing in there?
So I remember we were leaving that. So at that point, DE was just him, Rain, and myself. Well, because we had parted ways with Danny Z abruptly. and and we got. I don't know how much of this I want to say out loud, like publicly, but
Nobody watches this. Just say it. Nobody's watching this.
Somebody wasn't paying their share of the practice space rent, even though they were living there, and it reached a point where we basically were like, "Well, we're not going to keep covering it." So what happened was, a portion of it was
Proceeds
in debt, right? And so we kept paying, and so that indebted part kept increasing. And then, so we were pretty well aware that, that we were going to lose our space and everything that was in it. And so we had a conversation with this particular person, and they said they were going to pay the stuff.
Dan Easy.
But their track record indicated that probably wasn't going to happen. So
Dan Easy.
So we got, we got our gear out of there. And then,
so what happened to my gear?
I don't remember your gear being there.
The PA speakers, it was either the mixer or the amp.
My earplugs.
Because when I left the band, I was like, you guys can just use that until you get new shit. And then all of a sudden,
God, that I don't really remember. Because I know we had,
because my little personal rig that I had with me. But
okay.
the actual PA that we used, because when I first moved in, remember those speakers that Tad had were blown. And they weren't working anymore. And either
we just used them as speaker stands.
Yep,
they were so
for
tall.
mine, yep. And then it was either his amp or his mixer had also blown. It was one of the two. So I replaced that, and then I bought the new speakers.
Yeah,
and then they just disappeared.
That time period, I'll be honest, is like, well, as you know, it was pretty hazy.
Yeah.
I think we were still drunk in euphoria then.
Between 24 and 26, I legitimately don't really remember much.
Yeah. So yeah,
maybe even 23 and 27.
I just remember us getting our gear out of there kind of ASAP, and then when we were getting calls, we were just like, "This is the person you need to call about the overdue rent," And
I assume that riser. That's what reminded me of it. I assume that drum riser stayed too.
Yeah, we literally
because that was Jason's, right?
Yeah, Jason and his dad built that. But yeah, we're just
right after the go-kart.
We just moved our our junk out of there, and that's when we got into the St. Anthony space, which oddly enough didn't.
Yeah, you guys practice there too?
You ended up practicing in the old DE.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because Tim got us space, and that Impaler,
and
Climactic ended up being in that space, and then
that's kind of funny.
And then like we moved down a few rooms,
So
and then
incestuous.
Cold Colors and Impaler were in a room, and then Climactic had her own.
Yeah.
We're the only bands in there.
The St. Anthony place.
Yeah, because it had turned into a mosque. So like, we weren't
Lots of disco music at like midnight.
Yeah, St. Anthony's
the industrial building. Yeah, it had eventually turned into a mosque. So like, our heavy metal in that music. Oh, okay. Well, it
With Jim Carrey.
No, with Cher.
I was allergic to
Happiness.
Oh, happiness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just
That's
put,
hard to
five
find.
movie references in like 10 seconds.
No, I've eaten peanuts out of Sam Elliott watching. Oh man. 5 people that know that.
Yeah.
3 of them are sitting.
You're just like fuck.
This is why we could never get a song in live.
Yeah.
We all have
That's why it
mics.
became a rule. That's why it became a rule when we took the makeup off. Is that when we're on stage, stop fucking around. We're gonna...
No jamming on riffs.
No, because we had to. Didn't we plan out? We planned out a break. We had a break.
We had a 1, 2, 3 punch, then we had a break.
And then we had a break so we could just get it out of our system.
Yep.
Bill Statue and poop on her lip everywhere.
Yeah.
And then back to business.
No.
And then finish with the ballad.
Right.
Down.
Oh, yeah, we eventually it improved, but we never perfected.
I mean,
whole
it went off the
concept.
rails quicker than any. Yeah.
Did you guys? This sounds super random, but you just reminded me of this, and don't ask why because it doesn't make any fucking sense. But did you guys have an intro?
For
For a really long time. that, like, so I had the audio from Halloween.
Yeah.
And so there was.
Says his mic.
My mic's not working?
Yeah.
Mine isn't?
Jeremy.
Mine isn't working?
No, it says Jeremy's.
I mean, I could see it flopping.
How about now?
How about now?
How about now?
Is my microphone working now?
Should be.
I guess if they don't answer, then it means it's not. Right?
How about no?
How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
Somebody let me know.
It should be working. I might have turned it down too far. I think it was a weird.
What is
Nope,
that?
it says it isn't on.
Like, I wonder how long.
Well, Pat said awkward, so I'm guessing it was our conversation that you couldn't hear Jeremy.
That makes it even better.
I'm like, Jeremy, what happened to my PA? He just dead silence.
Wow, he's really not going to answer him?
Oh man, that means everybody missed our little joke about the mask.
Oh, okay.
It's on. Look at that, the relevance shenanigans spilling in.
That's right. Hey.
All right, so what is
Just the tip. Spill it in.
I don't fucking remember, bro. Oh, I do remember what it was. Which it's actually kind of a two-part question. Like, did you have an intro?
Oh yeah.
And why wasn't it the fucking Sanford and Sons? Because you're obsessed with that intro, and I want to know why you're so obsessed with that. He loves that song.
That video, then.
He loves that song.
Dude,
like,
Well, it's a great show.
I use it for a Dying Euphoria video I want. But no, yeah.
why are you so obsessed with that song? First of
I don't
all,
know, man. It's just there's something that's so hilarious about that
Wah, wah,
song
wah,
being used in,
Wah,
like,
wah, wah,
context
wah, wah,
that
wah.
doesn't fit.
It's
So,
like,
it's it's Stanford and
It's
Son,
like-
it's comedy, and then
it's like the Benny Hill theme every time I'm being chased by women in
Yeah.
lingerie.
so like when I used it for
Just every time.
it was when we were announcing years, and so like for that I used it.
And on guitar, Jeremy.
Yeah, but no, our intro was it was kind of funny. So this goes back to some of the Relevant stuff too. So, a lot of times I think, Kyle and I sometimes ended up being, for lack of a better term, like maybe like the face of Relevance a lot of times, but maybe a lot of people don't know is like Ben did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, one of which, this is really loud.
This got really intense all of a
I
sudden.
figured out, and I'm fixing it live as we're going. But Jeremy's just got super loud, and I heard it in your voice. You were like, "What is happening?" The panic in your voice.
I just can't talk quiet.
Yeah, I was like, "Just keep going. I'm on it."
How
I'm on
dare
it."
you, Tina?
But dude, that look you gave me, dude, I just died laughing. I'm done.
Now I feel like I can.
You got to do.
Oh, there I go. But anyways, so like Kyle and I didn't know jack shit about like a lot of like, I don't know, just like
It's in the computer?
computer magic stuff. So I was like, Ben, I got this fucking intro that I think would be badass, but it's like 3.5 minutes long and it needs to be shorter. I don't know if you remember.
Didn't we add something over it though?
Yeah.
I found something.
Yeah, you tweet.
I'm sure I found I can't remember what it was, but it was something being said. And
Yeah, you had some stuff being said, and then you trimmed it down and had it like fade out the proper way so we could have the intro that we used for pretty much the entire time of Relevance.
Until we learned how to
Well,
play
we had
the
an
Christmas
intro
song.
to the intro. We played Ukrainian Carol like middle of summertime quite a bit.
Yeah, we did that
9
too.
times out of 10.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, like Ben would add in like just for fun, like different shows, you'd add in like some samples at the end. Like you added in from Boondock Saints that one time.
Oh
You're
yeah.
like, shut your fat ass,
Ravy.
Yeah.
I can't go down to the store and buy a pack of smokes without running into 9 guys you fucked.
I remember as you say that, I can instantly hear the snare hit when we went into "You Are Dead to Me."
Mhm.
Like Ben did. It got to a point like when Ben was in the band, or I should say when Ben joined the band, and like he really started to take over a lot of the flyer stuff and a lot of the just a lot of that kind of behind the scenes type stuff. Design graphic knowledge.
Yeah. You guys still did the majority of the flyers, though. I mean, because you guys had the money to spend on the on the printing fees. So
quantity or quantity? Kyle and I are standing at Kinko's getting flyers printed for Revelance, and we're trying to figure out. I think what was it? We were trying to figure out if we want to do cardstock or.
It was tape, actually.
Oh, was that what it was? And we were like, and one of us, or I think it was me that screwed it up. I was like, well, we got to ask ourselves, do we want quantity or quantity?
I remember looking at you like,
and I didn't
want quantity.
All right, Velociraptor, yes.
Which was a total whatever slip. I thought I said quality or quantity. So then when Kyle was like, probably quantity. I'm like, why are you saying quantity so weird?
Why are you saying it that way? Which word? Which way?
Do you remember when we were flyering? I don't remember what show it was for, but we were putting flyers out at all these different weird places. We kept getting yelled at. Like we were putting them at like in drive-throughs at like Burger King and stuff. And then we put them in the car wash. And then we got chased, and we slipped and fell in the soap in the car wash.
Yeah, I remember that. The car wash. We would put them in the middle of. We would like look through the metal magazines at like Barnes and Noble and find bands that were kind of similar. That what we sound like. And would stuff a flyer in there, and go to Showplace 16 and flyer the cars there all the time.
Wouldn't you guys like slip them in like in between like the CDs at Cheapo and stuff and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we used to. Yeah, if it was a band that like, if they like this band, they'd probably like us. So then we would go in and
we snuck some demos into Best Buy too.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Still there.
That is for sale.
Even after they shut down the CDs. It's for sale.
Here, you throw this away. You throw this away.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it kind of says a lot. I mean,
that's
we even had fun flyering.
That's what I'm talking about, though. That like again, it's that sort of attitude that again, that got it so popular in my mind, because that's what transferred over into like us being on stage. Is like we're literally having that much fun. Like you guys could be here or not. Yeah. And we were still having that much. This is just what we do down at the space.
Yes. Right. That's what I was going to say.
We're just letting you guys see it.
What you saw on stage, that was us at practice.
That's why when we reinvented ourselves, we had our first show at the space, because this is where we're most comfortable with this right now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what, yeah. But that's what, again, transferred over into all of it. That's why, again, I mean, even before I joined the band or whatever, that's what always stood out, is that you guys were everywhere. You're always in the front row, and you guys are always, smiling and friendly. Because I mean, there were plenty of fucking assholes going around, that it definitely made a difference.
Yeah. Oh, now we're the old guys standing with their arms crossed, like, oh, we'll think about going in the pit. I don't know.
Maybe.
Next song. I'll go in the pit.
Maybe go in the pit.
Oh, my back kind
I
of
don't want to
hurts.
hurt any of these kids.
I don't know if you guys realize, we've already been going for an hour and a half.
Really?
This shit flies so fast. Should we fucking
start over?
let them ask some questions?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Do it.
I mean, we'll hit these comments now, but if you guys want to ask some questions, I'm literally, I've barely said anything, because like I learned in these actual fucking group podcasts, it's just pure chaos. Like, and you fucks got enough chemistry to yourselves. I'm like, I'll just let you guys riff. It's like fuck it.
Sure, we're not doing the pyramid.
Dude,
I just want to put that out there that is not happening.
We should totally do the pyramid.
Can we do the pyramid on your table?
I don't think it'll hold.
Pretty sure there's
Well,
a genre.
find out.
It might have held.
Might have
back
to start
in
an
the day.
OnlyFans if we're gonna do that.
It might have held back in the day, but these two
Well, let's
gained a few.
let's
pounds.
start a
Depends
GoFundMe
on-
page for your table in
Jared,
advance.
it depends on who you're talking to, even about that. Apparently, the guy in the top is always a fat ass.
Oh, you were a portly fella.
Well, that's why, like,
But you weren't fat.
the picture, the Bob show.
Oh,
The Bob Show, like that picture, like you guys don't like. I'm on top, like, "Hoo-ah!" and you guys are like you could tell, like.
Well, in all honesty, I was super hungover at that show because Dying Euphoria played the night before.
and I had gotten some new leather pants, so they weren't broken in yet.
I was sweating out booze and White Castle on that stage so bad.
Very respectful for the crowd. Yes, we're demonstrating proper decorum whole time. You know.
I'm too old now. I can't read the comments. So
Mr. Chris Welch is in the comments section.
Oh, squelch!
oh, Chris.
There's a lot of shit talking to
Potato,
me, which I love,
potato,
and then there's a lot of
potato.
very supportive and loving comments to you guys, which I'm not super into, but whatever. I'm just kidding.
Sex sells.
But yeah, if you guys have questions, throw them
Dan has
in.
one.
Let's
It's
start.
It's been a half hour. All you subscribers out there.
That's a good one, Dan. Would you guys?
And thank you
enjoy-
guys, by the way. Thank you guys, all of you, genuinely for hanging out with us and subscribing and all that shit. We're still on that grind to 1,000 subs, so it's a bitch to get to. It was way harder than I ever thought it would be. So I appreciate you guys for real. Did Kyle and Jeremy ever?
Yes, we had sex, but
Did you guys ever dock live?
I never
Yeah,
wore
it was-
Dockers live myself.
They used
I
to.
wasn't into khakis. How about you, Jeremy?
I usually kept them on a keychain.
Okay.
we came close to docking, but then Ben joined the band and he put an end to those
Yeah,
shenanigans.
I put the man in the boat.
Oh my god, that's right.
For the longest time, it was just two men in a boat, and then I put the man in the boat.
Dan Copy is asking, would you say you enjoy performing in makeup and costume more than just regular street clothes, or vice versa over the years?
In civilian wear.
I'll feel this one.
I'm gonna leave this
makeup.
to. I prefer makeup.
Actually, no, that was kind of a.
I think I got rid of the echo.
Let
me know if you guys are hearing the echo.
makeup off.
Yeah, it was definitely a tug of war for sure. Yeah,
at the
that's
belts. Yeah.
That's a tough one. I would say, man, they're so different. You know, like at least
They
to me,
were.
like performing in makeup for me felt more like being a character a little bit. Without makeup felt more like I was being me. You know, but I think it's different for everybody. You know, like I think, but I don't know, but yeah, it's hard to say. There were elements of doing the full makeup that were really fun because of sort of the character element, right?
Yeah.
And so you feel like a little, almost like it's Halloween. You can really step outside of yourself a little bit.
Totally.
But like for me, my big struggle with the makeup thing, and maybe you talked about this earlier, but mine was from like a songwriting aspect. I felt like it was hard for me to be up there singing a song about like a time that I was suicidal, right? And a song that means a lot to me, but I got blood dripping off me and black and white makeup and stuff. It felt weird for me. So that's where I had a lot of conflict with it.
Yeah, and well, Jeremy and I actually kind of struggled, with our songs that we were writing for that same reason. Like, songs that I was writing versus the songs that Jeremy was writing were both coming from completely different places. So I think that's probably why, like, I've always been more towards the theatrical aspect of it. Although it is like a character thing, it also kind of felt like an extension of but like the direction of the content of my songs kind of fit that imagery. So it was tough for me to not do the theatrical part of it because like
I figured out the echo.
I felt like even though other bands obviously had done it many times before us, it felt like it was another element that set us apart from it.
It's such a relief. I finally figured it out. Sorry,
I played
just
the
had
bass.
this huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I finally figured it out.
Until I get excited and yell again.
See?
Oh, wow.
See? No, I really did figure it out.
Cool. Let's start it all over.
From the top.
From the top.
Let's take it from the top.
Yeah, Ben, you know, that's actually cool too, because you know, in Cold Storage, obviously, you guys were straight up jeans and t-shirt type band, right?
Yeah.
And then
Straight up now,
and then
tell me
came
you really
into
wanna love.
Revelance, where it was at that time was very theatrical.
Well, yeah, that was the first thing we did. Is we took promo photos. That was the first thing we did. Is like I had to come up with like a makeup style, and then which you guys hated because I kept wearing my baseball cap.
So is it?
But
the
it was black
obvious-
and white, so it matched.
So why you started the makeup? Is it the obvious that you were a huge Kiss fan and you wanted to do some sort of makeup? Because you
Yeah,
didn't
I
do
mean-
your makeup like Kiss, but you put on makeup.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, we started out like with glam metal makeup, like we wore glittery
Right, but I'm saying the
makeup at
white,
first,
the
but
white
then
and black.
we when we were leaning towards gothic glam, we started adding more black around our eyes, and then once we got kind of in the groove of things, that's when we added the white. And like obviously this has been done and made heavily by Kiss, but I think we had our own sound that we've never sounded like.
Right.
Like early on, Jeremy and I hey, let's combine the look of Kiss and the sound of Metallica.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
basically in high school. That was kind of our thing, and oddly enough, maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, but I feel like I might have actually been the one who suggested that we go add the white in. Like we were doing the black
Could be.
during because I again, memories are so, especially over all these years, they're so skewed. But like, I feel like I remember having a conversation with you about adding in the white makeup, and I feel like I remember you like being like really ecstatic and also surprised that like basically like you were kind of like, so I've been wanting to do this whole time. Like, I can't, And the reason I had suggested it was actually, again, this, unless I'm remembering this incorrectly, but was kind of selfish because it was I had joined the army, and so I had short hair. And so I couldn't
offset the short hair.
to offset the short hair, I couldn't headbang anymore and do all that stuff. And so I kind of felt like, well, man, I need something to like add something to this. And so it was
some
like,
pizzazz.
yeah. But then it was like, hey, Kyle, what do you think if we add like white to the black makeup or something?
that sounds about right.
I just remember this like,
You know what? I think we didn't initially have the white because we were trying not to look too close to Kiss.
yeah, we
I
were
think
just
that was a
and the
topic of
black,
discussion.
just doing black was a little easier to manage too, and it allowed us, we could do some kind of cool things with the black because we didn't have to try to like, not have it smear into the white or whatever too.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I don't know. Both were fun times, and
Yeah.
I think
Well,
when we decided to take the makeup off, it actually it forced all of us to direct our attention to the music and well, mainly just the music. Like we still wanted to put on a choreographed like headbanging show and like still have extravagant stage set. It left less to fall back on.
I noticed when I would go look back at like our shows during that time, it seemed like another thing that sort of inadvertently happened when we took the makeup off was we became more entertaining physically because we couldn't rely on just making a mean face because we had makeup on and or an eccentric or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of like, oh, the mask is off and we have to like entertain physically now.
I just didn't
And
have to wipe the rest of mine off. That was about it.
Well, and everyone that was in the band were actually pretty good sports about it. Like before Ben joined, it was Johnny Kane and Chris Welch, and Chris had a cool design. He had like claw marks over his face, and then Johnny Kane just kind of looked like a badass. Jeremy and I being lead vocalist. worked at the time. What Ben came up with,
And
I
that's-
actually thought was very fitting. Both had.
Yeah.
Because like you didn't really come from a theatrical standpoint or even necessarily something you wanted to do, but you went along with it and you made it your own.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were standing between Jeremy and I, we didn't look alike, but we were more on the same page as far as our accessorizing.
Right. Yeah.
It actually worked very well in what you did.
Yeah. 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 No, and again, like it wasn't one of those things where like even like I mean, you guys got me to join the band, like it was never a deal breaker, not even in the least. Like it was a lot of fun when we did it, like the only thing I could say is, again, it was just like that was just the area you guys were at, really. I mean, to be honest, where we went, I mean, was the logical conclusion. I mean, really, because I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that same. It wasn't that same band again. Because I mean, both of you guys. I mean, you were still more of a storyteller, and you were more of a poet, like a poet aspect or whatever. But that's the again where you guys were going in your lives. I mean. Like I said, I joke. I mean, especially since we started talking, all of us talking again or whatever. Like I said, it was, mommy and daddy were fighting. So like, I mean, it was. I mean, that's what happened. But again, it was nothing that wasn't. I mean, and I think I've heard you both say it. It was something that needed to happen too. Like because I mean, I don't know. There's a point where you get so close to somebody that you gotta let them fly. You gotta see what you are without that person before you
fly. You gotta fly.
Well,
you gotta let them fly. You know what I mean? And you guys both really did that.
We kind of with Kyle and I, it was one of those things where band people, you kind of know it's like, yeah, you're in a band, everybody gets along, or for the most part, whatever this that, but like. But Kyle and I had like such a long-standing, deep friendship that it was like we would do band practice together, and then go to the gym together, and then play basketball together, and then go hang out and watch a movie together.
Yeah, we talked about that before you got here. I mean, you guys dated for like a solid 9 months.
Routine. So it was like it was almost like you were working with your wife.
I mean, no, you were working with your wife.
Yeah.
The question
Except you guys were both the wife.
We were both the wives.
You were both the wives.
But like
you were both like, I'm my wife,
which I think definitely added such
my wife.
And I think that added a unique and deeper element to Relevance, but also made it more challenging too, because it's like you're in a band, you're gonna have conflict, especially when like we're both the lead singers, we're both the like primary songwriters, whatever, right? I mean, so it's like all the things in the world that could like cause conflict, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we're also best friends in real life.
And lovers.
Which nowadays, I mean, most bands not close. I mean, they play shows together, but they don't hang out.
Yeah,
and I mean,
right. And that
really
and that's the thing.
Wasn't the case in Relevance.
And
I mean,
and that, so when For Blood was started, we've had this conversation a couple of times, and like I don't know if I've ever told you this. Like when we were trying to name the band, like there was a list out there of all the names. Some of it came from Mertz and from us, and he compiled the list, and then we all got together and tried to come up with a name. Didn't have one for like a year, you know what I mean, of being a band, so we didn't know what we were gonna do. Well, riding the Relevance wave, like one of the songs, one of it was like Out for Blood or something like that was the name, and I was like, no, I was like, how about For Blood? And I'm like, not like Out for Blood, but like for blood, for family, for kin, It's like I want every band photo to be like us with like all our friends and everybody we know, dogs at our feet, kids on our on our knees or something like that. It was like that's the attitude I was ready to start preaching, because again, I mean, after just the time I spent with you guys, I mean, and again, it really makes me think about it, all these years later, is that the time I spent with you guys was really, I mean, I had a lot of fun in Cold Storage, and that was some, I mean, granted, there was some good times for me and some good opportunities, but I really walked away from that, only really talking to Dan at this point. I mean, I've talked to a couple of the other guys, but I mean, outside of that, and for us to, yeah, again, like that, like I said, that was the attitude I really wanted to either pretend was still around, or and again, like for everything that happened after that is a whole different story. But that's what I'm saying. That's what that band did for me when I think about it, because
that set the tone. That's what that band was about until the end. I mean, like John's lyrics were always uplifting and
yeah.
It was heavy and it was intimidating, but like it was to stand for a positive message. And,
Oh, dude,
take your vitamins.
I remember sending Sean a text. I was going through a really, really tough time. It was like 2009, and I listening to the For Blood album was like one of the things that really helped me make it through that. So it was like, again, sort of that whole incestuous full circle thing. Like I texted Sean. I was just like, hey man, like, this is probably weird coming from like one of your buddies, but like, that album is like getting me through this.
That's awesome, man. Well, and John was great for lyrics, like, and like, until really even realizing it now, like I think prevalent, non-makeup
or less makeup.
Whatever, that picture we have of us like at the main event, where like all of a sudden we have like white makeup and crap
like
on and stuff
Rammstein.
like that, and you're like shirtless with just black all over it, like just here, like like, I mean, it looked good, like, I mean, it was one thing. I'm not saying we were overdoing it, because again, like I had a lot of fun doing that. Like I mean, clearly, like that was a lot. I mean, I could have not dressed up, and just worn the makeup and like something, but still, but yeah, like for what it's worth, like I mean, when we did still continue it, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
The non-makeup time during focus, kind of that approach, kind of like Bud had, kind of was like similar, but it was more anguish, being hurt and everything.
Which again was, I mean, for the songs that again you two were writing, I mean, for what you brought at the time, I mean, again, that was like that was like you thought it wasn't going to get any lower. is
Right.
all I'm saying, like and that was different. We had I mean, we actually had a ballad, but again, like that's why I again I think of those things, and like, but the things I remember, again, I can't remember all the songs for obvious reasons, like I can't remember a lot of the songs and stuff like that, but I remember like I'd sing during your songs, and I always had something to do during your songs. Like there like yours was always my choreography, like and then yours was always like I had a backing vocal that I was super proud of, or whatever. But
that was actually like cool to have that contrast, and like I was gonna say, like I didn't even really realize it until this moment, but like both eras of Revelance, I managed to find. After that, like the non-makeup era of Revelance ended up being For Blood, and the makeup era of Revelance ended up being Impaler. So like I was able to kind of still get my rocks off in both directions without even really realizing it until just now. But
well, that's what I told you this too. Like that was there was a conversation that I had with Kyle at one point where like they had asked you to join Impaler because you had done a couple of shows with them because they needed help for whatever, and then they offered you a chance to do it, and I was like, well, you should probably do that. It's like, because there's an itch you need to scratch, and you're gonna get a whole lot of it there.
It's still itchy, man.
That Revel herp is gonna flare back up again.
Yeah.
There's not enough Valtrex in the world to make that nubbin go down.
Oh boy.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, that for the makeup days, like I had no problem with it, because I mean it was a lot of fun, and I mean, you see the videos of you guys doing the ain't no way to go home. Like, I mean, that's stupid how it was. Like every time we'd get set up, you know.
When it was cool to start to see like our audience members like wearing their makeup. That was actually like really cool. Like going out of their way to dress up like us. And Downside of Truth actually dressed up like us for Halloween one year.
Yeah, they played a show dressed like us.
Yeah, which was really like what?
My little brother, we played one of the. I guess technically it wasn't Revelween because we were playing with Impaler, and it was
a year
like
before.
It was like Impaler's show, but and it was all ages. So my little brother was able to come out, and I have a pretty cool picture of my brother and I doing the horn shake, me on stage, him in the crowd, and he's got my makeup design on. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were talking about the Revel horns earlier, and I still think that's one of the coolest things that the scene has ever come up with, and you guys are responsible for that. And I remember multiple times at big shows when you were killing it, how you really knew you were killing it was when the entire front row from one end to the other formed one. That's when you knew you were crushing.
Right.
And very few bands ever got that honor. Like you'd get 5 or 6, but it was like a rating system. Like, like it really was like
Siskel and Ebert, 10 horns up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Seriously, I'm not even exaggerating because like when you were crushing, you got them all the way across the stage, all the way across it. Because motherfuckers would see it happening and be like a row or two back and lean forward and just like boom.
The one guy in the middle that's still full horns, you know, like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there's always that random guy who's got the horns in the middle, and then somebody like goes like this. You're in the middle, man. You're in the middle. You're a fist.
Adam from 6 was always a great sport. Pinky.
Yeah,
because he'd always be on the end.
He always wanted to be on the end.
Like the one
put his nubbin out.
Yeah. And he went to.
Aaron Lonick has a good question. How do you guys get away with all that pyro?
Ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Yeah, it actually was before that Great White incident. So like a lot of times we didn't ask. We just went ahead and did it and wait until the sound guy to say no more pyro.
we would hear that too through the monitors. No more pyro. That one where we almost burned down Station 4.
Yeah,
the lab.
We had like we each wanted to have a pyro feature in the show, and we thought of a cool one for our drummer Chris Welch. Like we tried
Christopher Douglas Welch,
and
Social Security number.
We thought, okay, it'd be cool if his drumsticks were on fire during a solo.
Where does he live? What's his address?
How old
Chris, you want to leave that on the comment section?
Birthday.
What was your first car?
What's your mother's maiden name?
My biggest question to Chris, since we couldn't get a 5th person in here for good reason because fucking I can barely do 4, is what's your mom's maiden name, bro?
So anyways, Chris would have this section of the show where his drumsticks would be on fire, and we thought, let's wrap t-shirt material around the ends of it, and we tried...
Oh, that can't possibly ever go bad.
We tried...
Not with all that plastic.
We tried kerosene, and that was too slow of a burn. That didn't work. And we tried diesel fuel, and that worked a little too well. Because during the intro of one of the songs...
They're almost identical, by the way.
I think it was Relic, because that's when he had that like...
Oh, it was Relic. So like, you can see it on one of the videos, like, part of the t-shirt material like flew off onto the drum riser, which was carpeted. So like you can see
the
kind of a
video.
burst of flames, and we had a guy with a fire extinguisher on the side just to be safe.
I mean, they were safe.
Yeah, we had
safety first, guys.
Safety first. So ended up getting put out.
You should Tarantino that because the way that went down was Chris, of course, is behind us, right? So we're just playing.
Yeah,
we're done playing the set. We're loading our gear out, and you and I are loading something out. We're like, what is this white shit all over the cabs?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't know about it at the time. You're right.
And then, what was his name? That always helped us. Mike?
Anthony? Oh, Mike King.
Mike King.
Yeah, Mike
Kingeling. Yeah.
Kingeling.
Yeah, Mike Kingeling. He looked at us because he was the guy that used the fire. He's like, didn't you guys see? We're like, no. He's like, you almost burnt this place down. I had used the fire extinguisher, and either Kyle and I were like, oh man, I remember it getting kind of hot at one point.
Well, the show must go on, right?
He would also put out my road flares. Like I had a flying
V. It was lit.
I had
It was fucking lit.
You had to have two 5-gallon buckets of dirt.
yeah, because road flares can't be put out with water. So I had a chrome tailpipe on each point of a
that.
flying V, and then I had a road flare in each tailpipe screwed in, and then I would light them off during shadows, and then like play that section with it. So like when I would take the guitar off, I would hand it to Mike. You couldn't douse it out with water. So I had 2 buckets of dirt, and he just like stomping the flames out in these buckets of dirt.
Oh my
So-
god, man, we got super creative with all that stuff back then, you know, and that was back before you couldn't buy any of this stuff really in Minnesota either. So remember we'd go to Wisconsin and we'd
Yeah.
get essentially we would just get a whole bunch of like really high, like I guess maybe not high end, but higher end fireworks.
And I remember when you had to like really get creative, because once that was like, nope, you're not doing that anymore. Because Skywine literally started
We were at that show.
Skywine started what was it? It was Quest.
Quest
The Quest
for
on
Mayhem.
fire.
Yep.
Fucking so I can't believe all the times I've had Wally and even Rich on the podcast. I can't believe I've never asked them to tell that story. Next time, because they'll be on again. But you guys had to get super creative, and I hope I remember where I'm going with this, because it's a multi-part thing, and I want to make sure that I give you the props you rightfully deserve. But you guys would have to get super creative. I remember one time at a show, one of you reached down the other one's pants and pulled out some random chick's panties. And like,
yeah.
you used to have signs on the back of your guitar, so you'd be like jamming and shit, and you'd like walk up to one of these dudes and like flip open your guitar, and it'd be like something, you know, like
We had like
a really good "I'm with stupid" sign, basically.
guy
Yeah, it
Those
was usually
girls.
like Sphincter Boy or like something.
Yeah.
Wayne's
from,
World.
Wayne's World. Yeah.
Or they're the keychain.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, the keychain
Yeah.
game, dude. That is still around for anybody that still performs in any way. So all the Reaping boys, like at a Reaping show, I still do that. It's still active, and I'm reintroducing it to the new kids in like the rock scene. So the Stormbreaker boys, the fucking Revenant Soul guys. Yeah, I'm walking up and I fucking put boom right on their shoe while they're fucking about to switch pedals and shit, dude.
That's awesome.
Dude, we loved bringing all that like 80s and 90s stuff. You know, you brought out the Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I still do that. The first Gravesig show that I played, when we hit that opening note or whatever, I stepped up on the Eagle box and I was I'm up there dressed as Doyle, right? Like being very un-Doyle like.
It's very undoyle like, dude.
Great Zigamania.
It's for the wild, brother.
One of my favorite bits you guys ever did, though, and this is something you did that I have also kept alive.
Oh yeah.
And dude, I get requests like once a year. A couple different bands will be doing a show, and somebody will call me or text me, and they'll be like, "Dude, you got to show up at the show, and you got to sweep the stage, bro."
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, here's how it happened. This is the first time I ever saw it, and I literally, it's one of those things where like I was rolling on the floor laughing. I was standing there watching this show, and I like, it was as if a ghost passed through me and took all the air out of me, because I immediately started laughing so hard there was no ability to breathe in or out, and I lost all ability to control my knees and literally fell on the ground laughing and had to just like struggle to get back up and see everybody. Six was in the middle of a crushing set. They were headlining. And in the middle of their set, you just walk on stage with a giant push broom and you start sweeping the stage as if they're like boring, and it's like, okay guys, it's time to wrap it up. But at the same time, you one of them bumps into you and you're like, you act so surprised, like, oh, didn't realize you were there, sorry guys. And then you just keep sweeping all the way across the stage. Dude, that is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. And every time I do it, people try to give me props for it. And I'm like, no, dude, that's Kyle from Revelance, dude. I'm just doing it because he's not here anymore. So once you come back, I will pass the crown back to you. And it will be your tradition to continue to carry on, my friend.
You know, man, I appreciate the crown, but I can't take credit for that, man. That's an ode to Mr. Peter Steele. He actually did that to Pantera when they were on tour together. And Jeremy and I mean, we're huge Pantera and Type O Negative fans, but like we really identified with Type O Negative with their sense of humor, because like that's our sense of humor too. Just
to a T.
Yeah.
Or an O negative.
Or no negative. Yeah.
Probably
And
a
actually,
B
it's funny. You are Type O Negative,
I am.
and I'm Type O Positive. It's kind of funny. We're good contrast.
When you think about it,
When
huh?
you think about it.
That makes a lot of sense. Hey, we
You guys should
start
start a cover band
I
called
should start
Typo
a
Null.
band. I was gonna say, we should. Hey,
Wang
we should
and
start a
Wan.
band.
We should. Ben, you want to join?
I could be
We
the
just need a
dots in the
drummer.
middle.
But no, I mean, like, I might have added my own twist to it, but no, I got that from Peter Steele. I can't take credit for that, as funny as it is.
It's a staple and a tradition on our scene that it's like, and it's always a good band who's doing like a headlining show. Like the last 2 times, I think it was Skywind. It was Rich who asked me to do it. But there's been a couple other times where other bands were like, "Oh, dude," and sometimes it was just I happen to be there, and they're like, "Oh my god, you're here." They're like, "Dude, you got to sweep the stage." I'm like, "Nah, man, nah." And they're like, "No one else will do it. Please do it. It's hilarious."
That's
And
funny.
Sweep the stage, Johnny.
the stage.
oh, it's quiet. Sweep the stage.
But I mean, Jeremy would do this quite often with Cold Colors. He would do it with Brian Hubner, like walk up behind who's ever singing and while they're playing their set and cover their eyes with his hand.
We have a picture. There's a picture of that with Cold Colors, and I remember
Brian wasn't, I don't think, too happy
he
about it.
was not. That was not his jam.
He wasn't a he was not a shenanigan.
He was
No.
not impressed with really any of my shenanigans, but especially that one. So naturally, especially the person I was back then,
He was such a serious dude.
I just
though.
did it even more.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was part of the fun. Like, we had not only like going to other band shows, but playing with them. Like we love Kuna Noon. There was a show like at the Caboose where it was me, Jeremy, Mertz, and Tom Oakes. We all had like, one word on a sign, and we held up, "I'm Neil James, bitch," in front of Neil James.
That's when Chappelle Show was really popular.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And
We talked about that on one of the podcast episodes.
And dude, for the longest time, I always thought Neil was upset about it, but then I happen to have like a Facebook memory come up of that picture, and his comment was, "Oh my god, one of my favorite show memories ever." So like for the longest time, I always thought he was really upset, and actually, it's one of his favorite memories of playing his
Good
show.
to know.
You probably when you did it in the moment, he probably made a weird face, like because he was just confused because he's playing,
Yeah.
and he read it and he's like, "Wait a minute, did that just say what I thought it said?" And it looked like he was pissed, but
Maybe he thought there was an apostrophe after the S on James, and so we were saying that we were actually his bitch.
Oh yeah, right.
Which in all actuality.
Emphasis
It's
on the
way
wrong
better.
syllable.
James
It's way
is
better.
Clouds.
Six was a great band to do shenanigans
the
with.
Revel
It's like,
Six.
yeah, Revelance and Six shows went hand in hand because those guys like had a great sense of humor
dude,
too.
the fucking
Especially, like,
raindrop, the
Halloween
raindrop.
shows and-
The best part of definitely not the best part, but one of the most funny parts is the raindrop happens and Jeremy goes, "I want that guy to be my new guitar player."
I remember Jason looking at me. He's like, "Are you fucking serious?" And sadly, I'm the one who was feeding him booze all night, and so I didn't do it on purpose, but it kind of worked out.
They had one of
I
those
did
viral videos.
not.
That shit went viral. You remember?
Yeah, that was like one of the first viral videos was the raindrop.
It was even talked about like for Jay Leno to have him on the show. Did you know that?
No,
Really?
I didn't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, every once in a while I'll see that resurface, and yeah, like if you didn't know any better, you would think I did it on purpose because Rain was having issues with his amp head that night, and so he asked to use my 5152. And well, you guys remember from we were all in bands together, I play pretty low gain, so my tone is very unforgiving. If you hit a wrong note or anything, everyone's going to hear it. But if you hit right notes, people are going to hear it too, right? So Rain is up there, drunk as hell because of me, playing. He's normally used to playing a high gain Randall Warhead amp head. He's playing through a 5152. That's the gain is on like 3. and he's just shitting the bed. So really, all of that was my fault, and so I'm sorry about that.
Did you guys used to unplug each other's guitars while you were playing with each other? Was that you? You'd be sitting there jamming, and you just fucking walk over to each other and just unplug their guitar.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that live.
I don't know if we did it live.
I remember somebody doing that to Jason Reed live. Maybe it was Maddie time.
I could see that happening.
And Jason he just set down his guitar and walked off stage.
I could see.
I think he was guest appearing on stage, and Jason Reed's up there playing it, and fucking Maddie time apparently wasn't good enough, so Maddie time, ironically, just fucking yoinks the chord. Jason's so fucking mad he just sets down the guitar and walks off stage, dude. I'm pretty sure it was Maddie time. Maybe it wasn't though. I thought that was like something that you guys would do to each other on stage.
That's just mean. We just put used plungers in people's faces, right?
Because you used to.
Did I put it in your face? Yeah. Oh, I did. When was that? I
was Star Central. All of a sudden, I see a plunger coming at me. Where'd that come from? Yeah, I was in the bathroom.
The prison wallet.
Oh my god! Well, that explains that, because I also put a plunger in Rain's face one time when we were in Texas. and then he
plunger.
And then he took it from me, and then somehow I got it. No, I got the plunge part back, which is pretty gross now that I think about it. But then I threw that back at him. But wow, yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, you put up with a lot of my shenanigans back then. Because back then, you weren't. I don't think you were drinking at all. No, and I was drinking
really
a lot.
I drink more after Revelance, actually.
Yeah, we had to cope.
Yeah, I did.
With all the trauma, you're like, God. Because
the alimony wasn't cutting it.
You were really dealing with. I was out of control in Dying Euphoria too, but that was different because we kind of all were. Yeah. But I was definitely in full-on party mode in Revelance, which you not drinking, that had to have just been. Oh my God, that had to have been annoying.
This is a dark fucking.
It wasn't easy at times, but other times it was actually quite entertaining.
Like if we were at leaving a show at the Urban and we're gonna have to take the elevators back to the.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know.
You got to finish that. That's not one you concede.
Everybody knows that story.
Yeah,
oh no, we don't.
A few times.
That's the Garage C story.
Yeah. But it all came around full circle though. Remember when we finally got to see him on like a bunch of White Russians in New York for Jason's birthday? And he's like climbing around on the trash in fucking the streets of New York City, like
Pauly Shore means
Hershey's Kisses for everybody.
Dude, I remember it was like this is probably like the worst. We were like the opposite of an intervention because we saw Kyle drunk for the first time and we were like, you need to get drunk all the time.
We're like touting him around the streets of New York, like just taking pictures of him, like let's see what he does.
This is the opposite of an intervention. We want you to have a beer in your hand 24/7.
It was the Long Island iced teas that actually did it.
Oh,
yeah, because you don't. It just tastes like regular tea, you know.
I know, and again, like I said, there's the picture of all four of us at the bar, like, we made it to New York, and then cut to Kyle like on the trash heap, like.
I think I brought a bicycle like chained to a pole.
Yeah, you were.
And you're all like, "Look at me!"
You're like, just dude, we were just. Remember, it was a good time. Remember how?
Then we wound up in like some bar that we were.
Rudy's.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
It was or maybe it wasn't. Nah, wasn't it Rudy's?
I don't know. It was somewhere in the middle of. We weren't sure how we were going to get back to the hotel.
Was it kind of a biker bar?
It was that biker. It was that metal bar where the guy, they didn't even card us. He goes, "You guys look like metalheads. Come on in." And
I remember that.
It was like super dark. It was somebody in Times Square who came up to us. They're like, "You guys look like metalheads." We're like, "Yeah." They're like, "You go 2 blocks over, you can get a pitcher of beer for what you're paying for one beer."
Right. Yeah.
They're like, there's this metal bar called whatever the hell it was called. All these years I've thought it was Rudy's. I could be completely wrong. And yeah, we ended up there, and it was like we felt home. It was like. They like just welcomed us in, and they're like, "Let's get you a picture." And they were playing
music,
metal.
playing.
Nice.
It was good.
Nice.
That was a really good trip. That
was for Jason's birthday.
Buying pot from some gal's vagina, like it was a really good time.
Explain that.
Well,
I'll be back. I have to use the restroom. What's the number 2 policy?
The rest
on that?
bucket.
No, I'm just kidding. It's number 1. with a little
no,
of number
there
2.
was like
Outer your number 1.
Make a number 3.
like there was 6 or 7 of us that went.
You can
because
go this way too, bud.
It was like the 4 of us. Did your I think his girlfriend at the exact Kyle's girlfriend at the time, and then Jason, and then his 2 friends. I don't remember who they. I can't remember the guy and the guy and his girlfriend.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the names. I know you're talking about.
But it was them. They those 2 found a person on the street and purchased like a little dime bag or whatever, and yeah, we all snuck up to the hotel room where the guys are downstairs or whatever, and yeah, it was the vagina weed. You could tell from the packaging. She had to disappear into the alley and come back, and all of a sudden she had it. So her dress didn't have pockets.
So she literally pulled it out of her.
Yeah. The snatch pocket. Like a kangaroo.
What's the difference between a prostitute and a drug dealer?
Where you put the carrot.
Prostitute can wash her crack and sell it again. No?
No? Not even? I like how he's not even going to justify you with a dirty
a
look.
true story, Jared. A true story when
that poor excuse of a joke reminded you of a true story.
It did. It reminded me of a time that
I'm
Dan
highly
Copy,
aroused.
Alex Kelly, Jim Haugen, and myself were doing a backpacking trip throughout Europe.
Jim Haugen sounds like he should be a WWE wrestler.
Hacksaw Jim Haugen. That's what I called him all the time.
Yeah.
But
just that name.
We were in Austria and we decided to visit Beethoven's grave, and it just so happened they were digging up his grave that day.
I don't feel like this is a true story.
This
feels like
they were digging up
but
his
the
grave.
way you're telling me, it sounds like you're telling an old joke.
No, dude, you gotta listen to me.
They were digging up. Now it really sounds like
they were digging up
a
his
joke.
grave,
And you're talking about when they were digging up that grave?
they were digging up
Fuck you.
Beethoven's grave, and then they opened the lid and they found him sitting in there, erasing all of his sheet music. So we're like, Beethoven, what are you doing? He looks up and he says, I'm decomposing. That actually happened.
Hand to God, it actually happened.
Sweet 5 pounds, slightly bearded Mike Piazza Jesus.
Ask any of those guys.
Sweet baby.
They were there.
I've got one more twisted tea if anybody wants it.
There's beer in that
I'll
fridge
give it a whirl.
too. There's some light beer in that fridge.
Well, I had 3. This is responsible, Jeremy. Now, so
Well,
I'm doing
not like
sober
not
October.
not like Revelance, Jeremy. Well, I only had like 36 beers tonight. I'm good to go.
Ooh, that's good.
You just do the revel horns on your steering wheel and aim for the middle. I actually said that one time when people were trying to stop me from driving. Oh man, you just go like this, aim for the middle.
Seems logical.
Good to go. Ruby. Which did I? No, I sent you the Harry Carey video for your birthday.
Oh, you sent me the Cosby one too.
Oh, did I? Well, the Cosby one was the Roz and Sean pudding pie.
It was a very creepy video, man. Jeremy's face superimposed on Cosby's.
That's like Cosby's face on mine. It's like on Snapchat, you can do a filter where you can use anybody's face and like superimpose it on yours or whatever. I think the kids call it a face swap. And I found that for whatever reason, Cosby works out really well. I was really proud of the Rise and Shine pudding pop.
That
one.
was, yeah.
Did I send that to you?
no, but I'm sure I'm getting it later.
I don't know. Like it worked out perfect. Like basically, it's like this. You just see like a ceiling, and then you see like my Cosby head kind of come up like this. So like I'm waking you up, and I'm like, Rise and Shine pudding pop.
Uh-oh. He's done with us. He left.
Wouldn't be the first.
I know that Cosby's probably like, it's probably not funny, but I mean, come on, it's fucking funny. It's fucking the Cos, man. Like, that shit's funny. Not what he did. What he did isn't funny, but
No.
But it's just, it's.
I mean, he
fucking-
was a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was laughing, making jokes while he was doing it. I don't know, but
Jared. Oh, Jared.
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 Rudy told me to put this pill in your drink. Zip it up, guzzle it down, and then go to sleep.
Go to pudding plop.
And then maybe you might get a little pudding pop in you. What I recommend is you take a Cosmic Colada.
What?
Had enough of this, huh?
Rudy!
Well, if I didn't have a community guideline strike before, I do now.
Oh boy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's an honor.
There's a worse video that I did where I superimposed Seal's face, the singer,
Oh,
and I'm
man.
singing "Kiss from a Rose."
Dude, do you have a TikTok?
No,
So the
I'm
videos.
40-year-old man.
He's got a dick doc.
Dude, the videos you've already made and put on Instagram, trust me, just literally take them and put them on TikTok and they'll do way better. Trust me, because that shit, it is hilarious. I've seen them, dude. They're also disgusting and make me throw up or lose my heart on. Don't ask me why I'm hard while jumping on Instagram.
I was gonna say they actually make me harder. Is it weird of me to jerk off to a video of myself as Bill Cosby?
That's weird, man.
Not
weird.
even a little bit.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Not
cum.
even a little bit.
I don't cum.
It's weird.
I mean, as long
It's
as
weird.
I'm not a weirdo.
As long as you don't
Not a
cum,
prevert.
as long as you don't cum, it didn't happen. So for a lot of women, they haven't had sex.
Oh boy.
Community
Maybe in your
guideline
camp.
strike number 2.
I'm not talking about women that I've been with.
How about those Bears? Yeah, a good team this year.
Yeah, you're a real human who likes sports.
Yeah, I just found that out. Yeah, my
You're a
bio.
real
I like
human.
sports.
Not a lizard person. In my
Guy's a big-
bio.
Guy's a big sports fanatic.
Go sports.
Go sports team.
Put the
Yes.
ball in the thing.
I dropped the ball and didn't get my bio information
Yeah,
to Jared.
so
in a
I told
timely
you about
fan.
this. So when you
manner.
guys dropped the ball, I make it up. And you inspired me the last time you came on because you was like competitive treadmill racing. So I took Jeremy's idea and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. If you guys don't email me what you really want. So it was like, Kyle is a real human. He wears pants and likes sports.
It's only the half truth.
Yeah, he doesn't wear pants.
And then I
At
texted
least not for
him.
the last 20 years.
And then I texted him and I was like, do you like sports?
Did in the 80s and the 90s.
He's like, oh, you mean that Huey Lewis in the News album? It's
Great.
It's one of my favorites.
Sure is.
No, I ended up right after that because I'll still put your real shit in there, but I do have to just make it up. So if I miss one, whoops.
No,
I do
that.
my best.
Are you liking that Twisted Tea?
It's like we're back in New York City.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we find some garbage cans for you to jump in?
Garbage cans. Yeah, sure. Why not? Or maybe just a sink.
But yeah, it was seriously the Pauly Shore means Hershey Kisses for
Awkward.
everybody. Like,
What's up, Dan? Thanks for jumping in, buddy.
Oh, is that Magnum?
yeah,
He said
man.
awkward.
Dan the Man will forever be Magnum to me.
Have you seen him recently?
Last time I saw Dan the Man was when you were down
Yeah.
for your podcast.
Oh, that's right. You were on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's fucking jacked now, dude. I remember him being skinny like me, and now maybe he's never my type of skinny, but
It's all my
now he's kind of
creatine.
fucking jacked, dude.
It's my creatine.
He looks good, man.
infused-
He's got that badass beard.
Yeah, dig the beard. Looks good.
It's my creatine infused.
Shout out
semen.
shout out to Dan Nelson.
Yep.
and his beard.
And his beard. And his lovely
And his-
beard.
and his Magnum.
We like the snail trail down the middle.
The real reason I call Dan the Man Magnum is because he really likes those ice cream bars. And he just also so happens to have a gigantic penis.
Right.
But it's mostly the Magnum bar.
Right.
He just knows how to set a stage.
So Gravesig has a show coming up.
Oh, do they? Right? Maybe I'll show up.
Actually,
Why
no,
don't you-
I do
should
have a
plug your
genuine
show.
question for you, Ben. So you started doing this woodworking shit, man. Now, you've always fucked with wood? You love
I mean, I walked in on him a few times.
but
Working the
You've always-
banister.
Wasn't the worst thing ever.
You've always
This
fucked
is the
with
worst
wood.
thing you caught me doing.
You've always fucked with wood, but now you're really getting your hands involved.
When I was living down in the cities, I was framing. I was building houses for just a subcontractor, independent contractor. And after that, I mean, now,
Oh, he's a Dom contractor.
yeah. No, now I've just been doing
That
all my own
weird
stuff.
Weird, too. It's very flowing.
I
No,
know.
so when did you-
I put the blow dryer to it.
But it's
Add
obviously
volume.
it's obviously a dope ass hobby you're super passionate about. So when did you get serious about that shit? I mean, you kind of
I wouldn't
mentioned
say I
it
got
and
serious
talked about
about
it,
it,
when you
but
were
I've
here
been
last
trying to
time.
do a lot better about it.
I mean, you're making some
I
cool
bought a
shit and you're
house- I
putting
bought
it
a
on the
house
internet,
that's
bitch.
Yeah, you make me feel like less of a man with those posts. I'm like, Ben can make things.
You almost lost a finger.
Yeah, did you like
Yeah,
that? That was
I
pretty
did.
rad.
And he's like, and he goes, it was the best but cheesiest line of all time. He's like, some hobbies bite back. And that's when I knew, that's when I was like, oh, so he's not just fucking doing this just to get his garage dope. Like, this is something he enjoys doing. Cause like, yeah, I mean, I've
Well, he also
seen through
does
that.
competitive snapper turtle fighting, and that's really what bit back. It's intense.
Yes, that is a euphemism.
But yeah, dude, you gotta start doing that shit. You should put that shit on Twitch. I was telling you that before.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Well, and that's the
Is
thing.
that
I just
methamphetamine site?
I don't.
No, that's
Ever.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, I haven't really been doing.
Which, sorry about that, Jeremy. I let my OnlyFans sub expire. I got to get back on there and give you back my sub on OnlyFans.
All I have is butthole pics. 786 butthole pics.
That's why it's my favorite OnlyFans.
And they're all the
terabytes.
same pic.
That's why it's my. That's why it's my favorite and my only OnlyFans.
It's like those Facebooks that the same pic of Jeff Goldblum every day.
There's only one that's yawning.
You guys talking about Yanni?
It's sticking its tongue out too.
Oh, we're just talking about butthole pics.
We're talking about Yanni.
We got real
Yanni.
far.
We're talking about
since
Yanni, the
you left.
musician.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we're talking about Yanni.
Yeah, Yanni.
Yeah, and how he's a real butthole.
Play the fuck out of a flute, though.
That's
Is that what he plays? I can't remember.
that's Richard Simmons.
Oh.
That's Kenny G.
Do you guys know Richard Simmons disappeared?
Like from the face of the planet,
Yeah,
or
like
like
they
just
can't
from
find
this
him?
line?
Yeah, there's a whole podcast dedicated to finding this man because he's just gone like poof.
Maybe he lost so much weight that they can't see him anymore.
He just disappeared. And like there's no police investigation, nothing.
I
He's
know
just
why.
poof. There's a whole podcast dedicated
It's
to
probably
it.
because grunge is now considered the oldies, and he just can't sweat to that.
Oh.
He made
Somebody's-
up his mind a long time ago.
Somebody throws on fucking Nirvana, and he's like, I can't dance to this. I don't know if that's how he talks. I don't remember.
Actually, you're doing all right.
I just know he
You're
gets
doing
really
all right.
excited.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do an impression,
So I dig the shirt you got on there, Jared.
Oh, this shirt.
Oh, raping Amadeus.
Yeah. These guys are cool.
Yeah.
They're all
Bit
right.
of all right.
They're terrible people, but pretty good bands.
Really.
it's like the Section 8 ninja shirt.
Remember the Devil Inside lawsuit T-shirt? That was my favorite. This one's
It
pretty.
was like Dell or
yeah,
Intel Inside or something. It
yeah,
was Dell Inside,
the Pentium 3 or whatever,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
did the 666 or whatever.
Yeah.
This is my second favorite one because they haven't gotten sued yet. But But yeah, they actually got. Remember that shit? Devil Inside got actually sued from them, and they just sold even more of them T-shirts.
Yeah, I think
Fuck
anyone
you
that had Inside or anyone that was doing a play on that got sued.
Well, and then they did a whole T-shirt run that actually just straight up ripped their logo off. Instead of it being the Pentium 3,
Yeah.
it was the 666 down there.
Yep,
Yeah.
I remember.
I
that.
mean, it was blatant.
Yeah.
They were not trying to be cute or subtle about it.
Remember, Less Than Nothing had a good take on the Cobra Kai shirt.
Did they?
Yeah, interpretive dance.
What?
You remember that? They had the
No.
Cobra Kai symbol. It was Less Than Nothing.
I thought Less Than Nothing. I thought they had the circle with the line through it.
Well, that was like their logo, but they did a Cobra Kai shirt too.
I don't remember that. Fuck, that's crazy. I had
Was that before Cobra Kai?
It was
the
before,
show
yeah,
way
right.
before.
Wow,
that
that-
would have been in the early 2000s.
This is when it was still the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
That was pretty forward and backwards
And they
thinking.
had three of
it
them.
was.
that was
Forward
retro
and
before it was fucking cool to be retro. You know what I mean?
Like, that's actually pretty. Isn't that?
Go ahead.
I can't think of his name now. That bass player, and now he's in
Jake
Justin.
or Justin.
Justin. Yeah. He was in that band, right?
Yeah.
Less Than Nothing was his band. Okay. Yeah.
and now it's Simothwa.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I said Jake. Yeah, I know his name's Justin.
Yeah. And he does like graphic design and stuff too now. Or
Yeah.
well, probably has.
But they were doing like, you're right with that. It was like backward and forward thinking because it was like throwback and retro before that was the cool thing to do, which
Yeah.
actually reminds me where we kind of started this conversation. You and I talked about this one of the times you were on the podcast too, is like when you guys first came out, you were doing like straight up metal and it wasn't cool and throwback because there had already been 2 or 3 genres of music that had come and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were doing this just because you didn't give a fuck and you wanted to before metal came back. Way
100
before metal came back.
100%. Yeah. Kyle
And it was
I-
just interesting because you also didn't pop right away. Like you struggled for a long time. We've talked about all that
Yeah. I
shit.
mean, we were.
That's kind of
really-
where we started the conversation.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of one of those. It was kind of one of those things where it was like none of the bands at that time around here were playing the music that we wanted to hear, and right. I mean, it was
Right,
kind of like
yeah.
like nobody was playing like metal, like guitar harmonies and riffs, and and
solos.
yeah, and all that kind of. I shouldn't say nobody, but there weren't very many.
No.
If any. I mean, none that we were really aware of. Granted, there was of course a really thriving death metal scene and a black metal scene, but as far as just what we did,
yeah.
Yeah, just straight up metal.
yeah, there's just this kind of hole there for that, and we as we kept going to shows, I think, and going to see bands and stuff, it was kind of like, I don't know, we were just like, man, like we're just like, are there any metal bands anymore? And it was like, well, us, we'll
yeah.
answer the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Poorly for a while, but we answered it.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of wanted to form the band that we wanted to see.
Yeah, that is what we talked about a lot. Yeah, we always wanted to see a band that like had, well, like Kyle said earlier, I mean, essentially like, I mean, now it sounds dated to say this, but like Metallica, like sort of the ferocity and whatever of Metallica. I mean, you got to remember at that time, Metallica was still considered like something relatively heavy, with with the theatrics and entertainment value of Kiss. It's kind of like, well, why can't you have both? Why can't you have, more aggressive, cool songs, more, maybe a little, more intricate songs than Kiss was doing or whatever, but still have the imagery and the entertainment value of Kiss. And then we discovered black metal and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
They're kinda-
that's what it is.
there is this is kind of happening, but it's kind of different than what we're doing. But
Yeah.
they look like panda bears and they're singing about Satan. But
I think you're right though, because when when it was like, oh, where's all the metal bands? It was like, I know what you mean, because there was really, really hard rock bands that were doing actually pretty well. Like you had Head Charge and Black Flag Diesel and shit, and then you had like a thriving death metal, black metal scene. But there was no just straight up metal.
no,
Like there just wasn't that. And then it was either that or you went full on like new metal.
that's
You know
the
what I
thing,
mean?
yeah.
Like you guys were really the only band. The closest thing would have been Banehinge. The closest thing to just straight up
or
metal.
well, Seventh Calling too. Remember when?
They were a little before my time, but
they
they've
were
come up
very-
quite a bit.
Very musically, like they were straight up heavy metal. Like
Yeah,
they were awesome. You know, that was actually like
Yeah,
a
they
band
were
that
right
we really
before my
wanted
time.
to hook up with.
Yeah, and then what's really cool about Seventh Calling, and maybe inadvertently that might have been part of where we got sort
I
of
always
that,
forget about them.
where we got sort of that like we're not in competition with everybody. Let's all just do awesome. Maybe I'm wrong, but we might have gotten it a little bit from them because I remember we thought we were really onto something that nobody else was doing.
Yeah.
And then we
Seventh
saw
Calling.
Seventh Calling, and Kyle and I were like, fuck. Like they were wearing black and white makeup, playing real metal riffs, guitar harmonies.
They had characters because, like, at the time we had characters.
Yeah.
And each band had a Joker.
Yeah, like it was like a mirror image. The only difference was we were like more aggressive music.
Yeah.
Is all.
They were more European metal.
Didn't
Yeah.
they have a keyboard?
They eventually had a keyboard.
Yeah.
They did, but like, so when Kyle and I spoke with the Seventh Calling guys after their show, it was kind of like, oh man, like we gave them a flyer, and I remember thinking like, God, these guys are, they're established. They're gonna think we're ripping them off, whatever. And they were super pumped that there was a band of young dudes like us, doing what we were doing. Like, so, like that was kind of like. I don't know. I think that resonated with us a little bit. Like instead of them being like mad or feeling like it was going to be competition, those guys were in their 30s at the time. We were in our we were like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, they were just like embraced us, supported us.
Yeah.
Kind of gave us pointers a little bit here and there too, and like.
I actually remember spending a lot of time at their space.
Yeah. We used to do a lot of parties down there, and so it was just sort of this thing where they could have easily kind of shit on us and kept us down, and instead they in fact
Playing
we played
footsie.
we played some shows with them. We really, I don't know, I think maybe like subconsciously that might have also played a role in maybe the way that we
That makes
were,
sense.
or,
Jackson brought that up when he was just here from Shatterbone. You guys remember Shatterbone?
yeah.
Did you guys make it down to do
Yep,
that
Marcus,
shit down
Iowa.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
they're
got it on
awesome.
DVD.
Yeah, we were actually just watching the footage for that not that long ago. But yeah, they great people down there, and they're
They're
just
getting back
starving
together.
for metal.
Shatterbone is.
So like,
What's
yeah,
this? Where's this?
Marcus, Iowa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we went. Yeah,
Yeah.
we went there with Chris, right?
Yeah. That was when Chris was in the yep, yeah, because we were still full makeup then.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, didn't you just share a clip from that show with me not too long ago?
I did. I was
Of me and-
watching
me and
it
Chris?
right before we
Yeah.
connected on the phone. I
Yeah.
was just watching that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
a great Shatterbone, man. You go down and play in Marcus, Iowa with them, and it was like they're a fucking big deal down there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it was
craven metal.
yeah, they were I mean, like kind of funny because like in the cities back then, maybe you have an out of town band come and maybe they're like the second band on the bill or whatever, and there's not necessarily a lot of people there, right? But you go down to Marcus, Iowa, you play with Shatterbone, you could be the first band on the bill and the place is packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of the culture that Jackson and Shatterbone built
Yeah.
down there, I believe. I think
Yeah.
that's totally it.
And like I just hung out with him a couple nights ago, but he was like saying how they got involved in the Twin Cities scene. They kind of became like the Iowan stepchildren of the Minnesota scene, and they became a regular part of shows up here.
Yeah.
And it worked great because like it was just another great band to have on the scene, and like-minded people too. I think that was what was so special about the scene at that time is like there was a lot of personable bands. We all like could have meaningful conversations and joke around. We had a great sense of humor and still be going after the same thing without like being cutthroat or like worrying about it being a competition. And staff at the venues and promoters like Joe and Bill, and I mean, like, it was just a really good time in general because everybody was working together. And I mean, I've kind of been away from the scene for a while, but I can, from what I hear, it kind of really isn't like that now. Like, things are operated differently.
And I can only imagine what it's like anyway. I mean, nobody can really do anything anyway.
Even if you wanted to.
even if you
And the
wanted
people that
to.
are, people aren't, the crowds aren't the same again because people, whether they're vaccinated or not, People are just not. Things aren't back. There's a couple bands that are drawn and still drawn well. Rockfest did pretty well, but it's hit or miss. Because the venues just aren't. A lot of them aren't legitimate music venues anymore. Like Star Central was a legitimate music venue.
Yeah.
The Rock was a legitimate music venue, even with that fucking pole in the middle of the floor. You know what I mean? Station 4.
Yeah,
with the pole in the middle of the floor and the one at the front of the stage, still a legitimate music venue. Not a great one, but it was still a legitimate one.
I don't know. That's why you talk about this all the fucking time. So pardon
ad
me.
nauseum.
No, I'm talking about like that's why. I mean, like you said, and like if anybody actually still really, I mean, there's gonna come a day when everything will pass or whatever. But I think what people really need to do and get good at, like you said, is just the content creation. Like there's nothing but ways to make stuff. I mean, yeah, you got to invest some money, but spend money to make money, whatever. But like, I
mean, there's cheap ways to do it too. Everybody's got phones.
Well, yeah,
you can upload and edit right on your phone.
Yeah, I mean, look what you got started with, Bare Bones. To start with, I mean, still entertaining. It's still a fun time for it. It's still worthwhile. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think right now, like, if anybody wants to, actually keep doing it in order to get over the hump and to really, I think, reconnect with people, because now now it is just about the internet. I mean, you really don't. I mean, it's the only way. I mean, like we were talking about, just putting stuff on TikToks. Like it's stupid how much that's actually really engaging people.
Yeah.
Because of attention spans, this or that. But
especially depending on what you're doing. Yeah, if you're just gonna make funny, quirky videos, I hope you're doing comedy. Well, because if you're not doing comedy, that's not really gonna do much for you. But guys like you that do cool ass woodworking shit, right? Dude, I'm telling you, there's some fascinating fucking follows on TikTok where it's dope shit, just a speed run, where it's like, here's me building this fucking whatever in 3 minutes. And it's a 12-minute video or 9-minute video played in 3 speed. And it's like, it's the only place that kind of content is,
it would be good, as far as like a band standpoint, like...
Yeah, that's just the dumb shit I'm interested in.
It's tough when you can't be in the same room anymore or anything like that anyway. And, 9 times out of 10, the people you want to work with are, states away or whatever. But, like, if you could, I don't know. You and I have kind of talked about a couple ideas, like your idea that you brought up to me. I won't talk about it, but like, I mean, that's a good idea. That's a good way to engage with people on a content level.
Is that what we were talking about on the phone?
No, it's something that I haven't talked to many people about.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Like I said, I mean, but that would be a way to, again, but again, what that takes is a world away. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's just something that's what guys have to really start doing now is finding a way to engage without having it be like, even the who's the guitar player from Trivium.
Oh, Matt
like
Hefe,
I mean,
Hefe.
The guitar player from Dragon Force, like they've all got a Twitch that they just sit and like play guitar for people all day.
Oh yeah, Matt from Trivium really. I mean, he made the most of that, and then that actually, to Jared's point, a number of podcasts ago talked about like how that can like raise the equity of your band, right? If you're doing something on your own, because like that what Matt's been doing with Twitch from Trivium has affected Trivium in a positive way.
I'd hope so. Like,
yep.
Like it's boosted their stock in the music.
And it's even more beneficial if you're not Matt Heafy, because Matt Heafy is Trivium, right? So if the drummer passes away, he's just going to replace him. You know what I mean? Yeah. If the guitar player quits, he's just going to replace him. Whereas most bands, that'll kill a band. Oh, our drummer had a baby and quit, and you never replace that drummer, and that's just the end of the band, right?
Yeah.
So what does the bass player and the other guitar player do if that's their whole career? Well, basically, if you're Matt Heafy's guitar player in Trivium, it's more beneficial for you to have that Twitch channel and that other shit, because if for some reason Trivium, like, what if Matt Heafy's just like, I'm done, Trivium's done, See ya.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck, now what do I do? You don't have to go join another Trivium. You can just kill it with your Twitch thing, make your own fucking band, do whatever you want, because you already got legitimate money coming in from being a musician. You leverage the equity you had. So it can work both ways, man. And it does feed you back to your band too.
You know, and again, you know, that's the sort of that sort of idea like works great for people that are like, this is my mic stand. You know, like this is if you want to go do. I mean, and again, I'm that was a pretty dick thing to say after after the conversation, but you know what I mean. Like that works great for the people that have that. You know, again, innately talented and just shit excellence. You know, like the people that can do that. Yeah, that's gonna really fly for them. But you know, the people that want to do it together, you know, as part of a group or whatever. I mean, I think that's So, I mean, something that's just going to become more important again, you know, until we have another Facebook blackout or whatever, you know, like, I mean, you really, I mean, I think that's what's going to really...
So what happened? Instagram and Facebook got hacked?
Apparently,
no,
I don't... Or it didn't get hacked. I think
the scuttlebutt is because of the whistleblower, they shut it down.
And then changed their algorithms so they
But I
I
heard they had, like... I heard they got hacked. I heard they got hacked and like a bunch of user data is now
it was the Russians
sold on the black market.
The few people that I know who like use
they're not the black market,
who
but the
use
dark
social
web.
media for like straight up marketing. I won't name names, but they're people who like have their own businesses and they do that stuff. They said that they had to redo a bunch of stuff because all the algorithms changed after after this hack happened. So like their normal things that they do to get their content viewed, not happening now.
So what happened? What's this whistleblower thing? I don't watch the media.
I don't know. That's again.
That's why I'm not good at reactions.
I've made a pretty solid effort to just like not go down those rabbit holes. But that's what I'm saying.
But we know that there's something about a whistleblower.
There was a former employee that had like.
She had the receipts,
tens of
the kids say.
Yeah, she apparently had thousands and thousands of pages of evidence of what
social media manipulation to manipulate the way people interact with each other in a negative light because negativity brings about more clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially the thing that a lot of us, especially us old folks, right, that have been talking about is that social media is just creating more division.
Mm-hmm.
She essentially had a stack of papers that said, yeah, you're right. They are literally doing it on purpose. Because happy thoughts and people getting along doesn't create interaction, doesn't create clicks, it doesn't create revenue. So Facebook, Instagram, whatever, social media, they're in the business of creating conflict and division so that they can make more money.
Which is literally the opposite of how it works in real life. Right? But, like in real life, happy thoughts and getting along and communicating effectively build stronger bonds and more communication and things like that. But online, that shit doesn't. It's so weird. Like our social interactions change per medium. That's what we're coming to. That's the conclusion we've come to. So the way it works online is to be a dick. But in real life, we already know that's definitely not going to work long term.
Well, I can tell you just from
that's just so weird. I've never thought about that.
Like from my own personal experience, I deleted the Facebook app like 3-4 months ago at this point, and so I almost never go on there. And if I do, it's like today to post that hey, we're going to be on the podcast or whatever. And even that, I do it through the browser, and I'm in and out. And like I'm not going to be one of those people who are like, oh my god, it was night and day, and my life changed or whatever. It's not like that. But there is a difference in just how I feel and just like what I do with my time and my day. And when I do something like today where I posted that we were going to do the podcast thing, it's like, oh, maybe I'll spend a few minutes and scroll through Facebook. And it's almost like if you quit eating fast food and then you go eat fast food again a few months later and you're like, this just tastes like a slab of salt. Why did I ever like this?
Yep.
That's what it felt like when I did a quick scroll through Facebook today. I was just like, why did I find any enjoyment in this? You know,
I can attest to that. Being off social media for about 4 years. I mean, like, you get addicted to it without even realizing it, and you get caught up in caring about things that don't matter. And being away from it has been such a healthy thing for me. And when I decided to go back, I didn't really like Facebook's like how they ran things. And even though they own Instagram, I like the idea of that platform much better because it's more picture based. You can't just start up conversations like you can on Facebook, and it's just more of a, there's more boundaries to it. And I think it's a, like with anything, you use it in moderation, it's going to be a healthier thing. Like it's been a great way to reconnect with people and build some content, but I don't need to check it all the time.
Yeah, it's Instagram. I feel the same way about Instagram, like, because I am on that now. When I deleted Facebook, when I deleted the app, I went to Instagram because of the conversations that you and I had, and you were just kind of talking about your experience with it. And I noticed the same thing. It's like, yeah, it's just, and maybe it's just the way mine's set up. I don't know. Since I am new to it, it's like, it's not like I have a ton of people on there. Whereas like Facebook, you're on Facebook for, 2008 or whatever. Of course, you've collected a ton of people, and it's just kind of a bunch of noise, right? So that might be part of it too. But yeah, but again, the way Instagram is set up, I kind of feel like it's set up a little bit more for like sort of a dump and run. You post the picture that you want to do and then leave.
Right.
Post it and ghost it.
Yeah, like I really don't have any like internal need to like hop back on Instagram to see who liked my picture or who commented.
Right.
Whereas Facebook, when I was active on there, like you were saying, like you don't even realize it. It's like, yeah, it's like a rat or whatever in an experiment. You keep having to hit that little thing to get your pellet,
Yeah.
You don't check your actual mail like 5-6 times a day, so why should you check your digital mail?
Right? Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
I got phone books are here.
I will say though, one thing that I do get torn about with like the Facebook thing is when I did do that little bit of scrolling today, I noticed that like there are some life events happening with people that I genuinely do care about that I don't, I don't interact through text with them or whatever. So Facebook is kind of the primary medium. And so that kind of bums me out because it's just like, oh man, like, so-and-so had a kid, and like, I like, you feel bad that like you didn't know and you didn't congratulate him. So there is that piece of it that where I'm kind of like, that's kind of a bummer. Or the fact that Jackson was in town, and like, if I was on Facebook, I would have known. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, though. That's why
I don't think he's on Instagram.
I mean, again, communication's a two-way street. Like it shouldn't be that. I mean, if somebody wants to reconnect, they're going to reconnect. I mean, that's 100%. I mean, we're obviously living proof. I mean, again,
thankfully, we all have each other's numbers though, because of Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if a lot of us don't have numbers, so like they might send you a message on Messenger, but if I'm not on Messenger,
and that's what it was. I don't know. It was years ago. Like you had sent me a message on Messenger or whatever, and like we hadn't had numbers. I mean, I've changed I've got a North Dakota number now. So I mean, and that happened a long time ago because I just I had to completely cut off from 763.
It kind of goes along with what you and I were talking as far as lack of physical experience. Like when it comes to it's easy for me to get into old bands' new music, but I have, like we were talking, I have a hard time getting into new music, but from new bands because.
What about new bands' old music?
Greta Van Fleet.
That's right.
Greta Van Fleet. Is that what you're talking about?
Back 25 years ago, if we wanted to check out a new band, we would have to take the risk to actually buy a CD, and even if we didn't like it, we would listen to it a number of times to try to like it. And if we ended up liking it, it really made a solid impression with us. But
kinda
now,
like anal.
right,
it's solid impression.
But now with streaming, there's absolutely no risk in checking out new music.
Let's say you loved a song, so you took the risk of buying the album, and you only liked that one song. Well, back then, you'd let the tape play or the CD player play or whatever, and it'd play the next song, and then after a while, you'd start to like that next song. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you like the whole album. Yep. But you weren't. But what you're kind of saying is not only with streaming, but even like single file downloading. Oh, I just like this one song. Boom. I'm just doing that one. The user doesn't even have the opportunity to have your other music grow on you, so the pressure comes down to us as songwriters and content creators that everything we have to make is a banger. And that is not a sustainable thing.
To me, it kind of, and again, this is going to make me sound old, but I don't care because I am. But it kind of, it's like, it kind of takes music. It's like music used to be like a really cool diner, and now it's fast food. It's like, let's do the cookie cutter. They're not going to stream it if it's not, if it's longer than 3.5 minutes long, and if you don't get into that chorus within the first 45 seconds, blah, blah. So now, like, it's kind of like just this cookie cutter thing because that's what you have to do in order to get streams, in order to be able to still.
Now, do we think this is a phase?
Well, what I was going to say is I think this is trickled over into real life, like when we were talking about being off social media. I think, it takes a risk to call up a friend to see how they're doing after so many years, because you're risking like, oh, well, maybe things have changed, or maybe we're not going to have a flowing conversation. Like, another big reason why I was off social media is I didn't want to find out about people's lives without talking to them. It meant more for me to actually hear firsthand from that person, like, oh, well, they got married, or they had a kid, or like this happened or that happened, whether it was good or bad. Because to go along with the analogy of the music, like, you have that connection, you go out of your way. Whereas I think social media and streaming makes everything so effortless that you forget about the effort and the risk that would be involved if you did it organically.
Dude, that's a really good point, because it's like, the social media conversations become fast food.
It has,
right?
It's short and it's not in depth at all.
Yeah. Oh, you had a kid. Congratulations. Boom. On with my day. Yeah. Whereas back in the day, if you had a kid,
here's a cigar.
We got to get together. Yeah. You would do something about that, right? Your friends would do, at the very least, there'd be a phone call. There'd be a conversation. There'd be like,
take you out to eat, or
what's funny is even at the beginning of Facebook, you'd like, that's how you found out about shit like that. But then people would create those Facebook events, and we'd actually go to them. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
People, like, we took it seriously. Like, oh, I RSVP'd. Like, no, that's on my schedule. Like, I'm doing that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that was weird too, because for a while Facebook actually made the scene and our industry and some of our relationships better. Like, I got to know people through social media. They'd throw a party or something like that. Like, seriously, sometimes they were private parties.
Yeah.
You get invited to one, and I'd be like, oh shit, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go to this dude's party. And then years later, we're really close friends. That wouldn't have happened without Facebook. And I think you guys are right. It's done the opposite now. It's like even your social interactions on things like that. Because if I were to create an invite, who even checks that?
Right.
Once you check it, like,
it usually goes to your spam, honestly. When you get an invite, it goes to your spam.
Yeah. It's almost like when MySpace got bought. It was like, what is this now? This doesn't even make any sense anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're seeing the death of Facebook.
Now I can't even use it.
Like, I think we're literally
that I had that I did with other bands.
I think we're literally seeing the death of Facebook before our eyes. I don't think they're gonna be able to fix it. I think it's done. I think it's over.
Honestly, I know this sounds like the crotchety old man, but I hope so. I think.
I doubt it. I really doubt it, because Facebook is so.
They're almost. It's almost too big to fail.
Well, you
or
can.
whatever,
Well, you can like Venmo, like you can do that through Facebook. So I mean, if
dude, my VR, my Oculus VR that I have, you can only use that if you have a Facebook account.
But I don't think enough people are gonna. I think there's too many people like us that caught on a while ago. Because I said the same shit. There's been documentaries that have come out now, saying exactly this. What was
the Social Dilemma?
That's what it was called. If you guys haven't seen that, by the way, The Social Dilemma, you guys got to watch that, because that shit's legit, and
it's super accurate.
That's what did it for me. And I had accidentally experimented with it a few times by losing my phone. One time it happened in Jamaica when I was getting married. So my entire honeymoon, I didn't have a phone. And it was amazing.
Wasn't it? A vacation?
It was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And you didn't really have any reception, so you couldn't really be on your phone much anyways down there. But you'd sit down and you're waiting for the waiter. Your habit, bust out the phone. You're doing all this shit. And like, I lost my phone. And that just wasn't an option. So all of a sudden my wife would bust it out and I'd be like, hey, put the phone away. Let's just sit here and hang out and talk. And that's like, dude, like things started clicking for me then. And then that social dilemma thing came out. And it is specifically Facebook and I think Twitter are the two worst at it. Yeah. Like those are the two most that thrive on that toxicity.
And then there's Snapchat, which in my opinion is pretty much for either fun with filters or being scandalous.
Yeah, I don't know any dudes on Snapchat. I've never met a dude on Snapchat.
So I had to get one. I fought it for forever, but my little brother moved up north, and he won't use text. He won't use anything. The only thing he'll use for like communication purposes is Snapchat. So I finally had to get Snapchat, and like, yeah, I try to like hide it so people can't find me on there. You know,
but it's not possible.
No, I keep getting.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
I think because it links with your contacts.
It sees your numbers
I literally
and then it suggests you to people.
Yeah, I literally just use it to talk to my little brother, but I always thought like, and again, this probably makes me sound old too, but I'm just like, man, an app that automatically deletes.
I mean, bro, anything, you are old.
I am. An app that automatically deletes anything you send to somebody. Why? Unless you're doing something fucking shady.
Yeah, nudes.
And that's where it's like, especially being in the dating scene and stuff, it's just like...
Trust me, it wasn't invented for chicks to send nudes. It was invented for dudes to send dick pics. For real. Like, think about it, because chicks have been sending nudes for as long as cameras have been around. Like, we didn't need a new version of technology for nudes. We've been getting them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this shit was invented for dick pics, dude. Like, okay, CEOs, like... Here's a way you can send that dick pic that you want to without it getting out there for blackmail because it deletes within what it was. I've never been on Snapchat. I've never met a single dude in my life on Snapchat.
I guess, like deletes right away.
Until now.
And even that to me, like again with my brother, I'm like, come on, man, it's annoying because it's like he'll respond to me like a day later, but it deleted what I sent, so I don't even know what the hell he's responding to anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh man, that song rules. I'm like, I don't even remember what song I fucking sent him. I'm like, cool. But no, I remember like when I first kind of got back into the dating scene, I remember like, yeah, I'd meet like a girl and then of course right away it's like, are you on Snapchat? It's like,
nope.
Well, it's like, yeah, I am, but I only have my brother on there, and then the next thing they add you or whatever, right? And then you can see how many like snaps they've sent. And this one girl, it was like 80-some thousand.
Yeah.
I was like, nope.
Yep.
What the hell am I going to date some girl who sent 80,000 snaps?
She doesn't even have any time for you.
Yeah, I'm just like, really? Yeah, wife material right there. You know that's just a bunch of dudes that got pictures of your fucking butthole and tits.
Was it you that no, it must not have been because you've been off social media. But I was watching some guy even talk about even when it comes to your phone, like I won't use my phone. I don't like to use my phone when I'm driving.
Talking to the mic, buddy.
Like I might have I might have music playing or whatever, but I still like try not to mess with my phone because I'm driving.
Yeah.
But like the dude is talking about how now even having your phone out or or anything like that. I mean, it just shows your level of engagement and whatever's going on. I mean, it just shows that you're just not engaged. That's why again I thought about it. And I mean because like me and my wife. Again I. Try to show my wife some sort of pizzazz in our relationship, even though I'm the old fuddy-duddy or whatever. And, we'll go out and it's like, I'll at least, try to... I mean, the only time we're looking up something on our phone is when we're making fun of the guy at the bar that looks like the dad from Dirty Dancing, Like,
yeah.
we got free food that night. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you just miss out on so much when you're just, buried in those things.
Oh, yeah, dude.
100%.
Even all the things about, like in the fitness world... There's all sorts of workout routines now specifically designed to help you overcome this. Because the way that our necks are starting to go, so now there's like this face pull variation that you do where you do the face pull and then you raise your arms up and then bring it down. That's specifically to help to correct your neck and your head facing down because of this.
Your TNS.
How fucking pathetic is that? I said, I'm 40 and I don't care, I guess, if I sound old because, like, I don't know. To all you kids out there that, like, your whole life has been the internet and social media and smartphones and stuff. Man, just take like a week and put that motherfucker down and just see the difference.
Yeah.
That's-
Dude, listen, guys, we got more people watching now than we have all night. There's 15 people hanging out watching. You guys want to keep going?
Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was gonna try to. I mean, I feel bad because it's like this is your podcast. You know what I mean? Like
I share.
I share.
I share.
I
now.
share.
That's
I Sam Elliott.
He doesn't sound like that.
I share.
I share.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm more like Rocky Dennis.
Dozer.
No, I think you're right though, and I'm all about the Instagram as well. 100%, dude. The Instagram is, I think, the least toxic because,
Yeah.
like you said, you have to post a picture in order to engage, and then only people who follow you are ever gonna see your shit. Unless I tag one of you guys, then people maybe. But I can't just randomly tag you if you don't allow that.
Yeah.
And
Seems more
even
casual
if,
too.
And even if I do, it doesn't actually show up unless you can set it up to where it's like you can tag me, but it may not actually show up for me unless I'm also following you. I don't have that set up because I'm not fucking Joe Rogan, or Bert Kreischer. I mean, think about that because they allow you to tag them, but that'd be like 1 million tags a month. You ain't reading that, right? So you can divert that because it's like unless I'm following them. You see, like you said, there's boundaries.
Yeah.
There's boundaries, and they're better boundaries. It's a healthier environment because, again, you have to post a picture or a video. For the most part, you can do reels and stories.
Yeah.
And sometimes those will go well beyond your. I don't know why, but they do.
Those I haven't done at all on Instagram. I'm almost trying not to explore the rest of Instagram. I kind of want to continue to be sort of like the dude who's like, I don't know, I posted a picture and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think boundaries, is something that is just automatically a bad word. I think, namely in this country, everyone's used to the
Borders.
the buffet. Eat all you can. That's actually not good for you. It's good to have a little structure and discipline in your life, and I think social media kind of takes that away.
I think so too.
And
look at the reports on your screen time that most phones will give you now.
Right.
Most people.
That was the biggest catalyst for me deleting the Facebook app. I got a notification and I looked and I was like, what else could I have done with that amount of time today?
And that's every week.
Yeah.
Because it hits you up on, what is it, Sunday or whatever?
Mine does it daily.
Oh, it tells you your daily one?
Yeah.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah.
Not daily.
Chuck Daly? Oh, that just dated me, huh?
Tim Daly? I don't know.
2 and 2.
Yeah, and TikTok is a fucking toxic mess too if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So I'm not recommending anybody go on TikTok unless you're adept at figuring out how to manipulate the algorithm, because that's the only thing that'll save you is if you understand what the algorithm is trying to do, you can use it against itself and you can manipulate your own feed on Facebook and TikTok and anything else, even Twitter really, but most people just don't, and it takes a long time because each algorithm's a little different, and that's why I really don't even fuck with Twitter, man. Twitter's the next worst one for me. Facebook's pretty bad, and Twitter's even worse.
I made a Twitter account a long time ago. I never used it, and I get emails from them like a psychotic ex. It's like, we miss you. Please come back. It's like I was never in you.
I use Twitter for two things. I use Twitter to follow the local sports, like literally PA and Pete Bursich and some of the local guys like Ben Lieber and shit on KFan, and to literally yell at Elon Omar because I have a direct thing to her Twitter feed, which is dangerous, man. Because I could say whatever I want, I don't say anything hateful. I just call her a fucking moron and a communist on a regular basis. But for real, man, that's it. Other than that, Twitter is a horrible place. I scroll through Twitter like you just said, only it's like I've eaten fucking all that fast food and went back for seconds and then got ice cream and I'm feeling pretty McFat. Right? That's how I'm feeling, bro. And that's within seconds of being on Twitter.
Dude, it is. It's fast food for your brain.
It's so bad.
It's fast food for your brain.
I don't feel that way on Instagram though.
No, I don't. I honestly,
I just use TikTok to flirt with my wife.
Which Instagram is owned by
Oh,
Facebook,
nice.
so that's super ironic. But
it's weird. You know, there's probably some weird ulterior motive there too. Like, oh, we'll lure them in with Instagram because they'll feel safe, and then when Facebook shits the bed, then all of a sudden Instagram's going to turn in. You know, although I will say I have heard from female friends of mine, it sounds like Instagram is a way different experience for them in a negative way. Like in a really negative way.
I'm sure. I'm sure, and then even more so
that.
again if they're a public profile.
Yeah, like
Because again,
yeah, I think there's a lot of and not even so much like people being like toxic or whatever towards them, but just the influencers who are like it's so fake. You know what I mean? Like everything that they've got, and then like women are then kind of comparing themselves to these influencers who are again completely fake, and then it creates this sort of like self-esteem issue or whatever.
So do you know what's really going on with the big crazy shit that's going on with the Instagram models?
That's what it was. Instagram models.
These Instagram models, dude, and I'm talking like, I'm not exaggerating this. Like they got like 1.5 million followers, like banging tens, right? Just like, oh my god, how's that chick even a real person type hot? It's not filters, they're real. Bro, they get flown out to Dubai to do like fucking nasty shit with these fucking princes and all that kind of crazy shit. This one of them, she came back, they paid her like 150 G's cash, and she's so stupid she brought the 150 G's back in a suitcase and couldn't explain how she got it at fucking customs. This has been known, but this is how it like came out, to where it's almost like the Epstein thing. Like people have been known about that shit for a long time, but then it took this one thing to like validate it all. And then another girl just came out and she's like, I got paid $50,000 to fly to Dubai and blah 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 blah. Or it was like 100,000. It was 50 up front, 50 when she's done. And she's like, and we're gonna do ano, and he paid me another 25,000 to have sex with his virgin son who's 13. And
like, does anybody have any self-worth anymore? Like, is there any party that looks
real?
That looks in the mirror and is
real,
like,
bro.
this is not the life.
So
I want.
I get what you're saying, and I believe that, because if you're even remotely attractive and you put that shit on Instagram, I bet you mad dudes are climbing in your DMs.
Oh yeah, dude, it's just a weird. I don't know, man.
God,
I mean,
I'm getting
whatever,
cringed out just thinking about that shit, man. I'm glad I'm not a woman, man.
I guess
life has got to be hard as a chick.
To me, I guess,
especially if you're hot.
It's like I guess to each their own, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe,
or if you're
take a moment throughout the day to at least like self-assess, look yourself in the mirror and just really ask yourself, like, I don't know, is this really what I want in life? Is this what I want to leave behind? I don't know. I know that's
my question is, how long is it gonna last? Like, you're super hot now, but like,
and then what are you left with after that, right? It's like, so Rain and I were talking, oh man, this is probably like almost a year ago.
Speaking of tens.
and he but it was kind of funny. So we were just kind of talking about like the dating scene and whatnot, and Rain goes, he's like, where are all the good, decent women? And I said, you know where they are? I said they married all the good guys that we were making fun of in our 20s when we were busy being fucking shitbags. That's what they did. We were running around being fucking shitbags, laughing at these guys who had their shit together. Well, a girl of worth is going to go after a man of worth, not after the guy who's fucking thinks it's cool that he's, pissing out of a window of a hotel and, upper tanking a toilet, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's why a lot of them are gone.
It's way worse for the younger generation. There's a whole new generation of kids that are drinking age now, and they have no concept of what they're supposed to be looking for. So like, if you ask, okay, tell me if you guys remember this. And it was in the beginning of high school, end of middle school, when classes started getting fucking gray area, right? So like, I remember health turned into like ethics or something like that, and then fucking social studies turned into civics or some shit. And it was in one of those classes where they started like, you started having some real fucking conversations with your teachers, right? And I remember it was the same teacher, but he asked us all a question in, I think it was 8th grade. No, it must have been 7th and 8th grade. Anyways, he asked us all the question, maybe it was 9th and 10th grade, but he asked us all one question one year. We wrote it down, and then we came back the next year, and he asked us the same question, and we wrote it down again, and then we opened them and read them both. Here's what you said last year, and it was, what are the values you're looking for in a like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, right? And when we were in that younger grade, it was like the girls and the guys were very similar. Like, she's got to be hot, he's got to have nice clothes, like, I want to know he's got money, blah blah blah, like super shallow shit. The very next year, even the dudes were like, I'm looking for somebody I can have a conversation with, somebody I can trust, somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It all changed. Okay, here's my point. There's this whole fucking thing happening on the internet where now you ask a girl who's like just even like remotely attractive, right? What are you looking for in a man? She's like, well, I want him to make $100K a year. And like, they start listing off this shit where it's like, okay, that's like 1% of or 2% of dudes.
Good
like
luck.
All you chicks want this small amount of dudes. That immediately makes that small amount of dudes man whores. Like, they're not going to get serious with any of you. So it's like, not only are you not going to get any of the men you want, but you're going to pass by all the good dudes. So what you're talking about, what we went through 10, 15 years ago in our generation, even the young girls and guys are going through now. Because no young kid makes $100,000, you know? And it's like, if they do, it's because they're a YouTube star, fucking using their friends as fucking literal prank
Reselling
bodies.
sneakers.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a wild world. It's a wild world, dude. And I don't think it's good for legitimate relationships. I think you're right. And that affects bands, that affects music. That's where you started with this, is all this shit like goes back to where we all kind of made our bread and butter, which was music. And I think it has started to affect music because guys don't even rehearse anymore.
No, it's weird. Yeah, like you'll see, you know.
I mean, I'm painting with a broad brush. There's a grip of bands who've been on this podcast here right now doing it and doing it very well, who absolutely fucking rehearse.
Yeah, the disclaimer is always is like anything that's being said. If you all of a sudden feel sort of offended because you're like, well, that's not me. Well, guess what? We're not talking about you. Like, so you're okay.
Yep.
You know, like we're that it doesn't apply to you.
It's such a simple thing too. That's the crazy thing, and it just keeps coming up over and over again. And it's not just us. It's not just this podcast. You hear Rogan talk about it. You hear Jordan Peterson talk about it. You hear fucking like literally, dude, like that human interaction shit. You hear fucking people on the left talk about it too. Everybody's feeling it, and I'm again painting with a broad brush. Everybody's talking about it, but everybody's also like, I don't understand how to fix it. And it's like, it's right there in front of us.
Yeah.
We all know how to fucking fix it.
Yeah, it's just
it's almost like everybody's on heroin right now.
It kind of
like, I can't stop.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's so many studies on it, that dopamine, and that there's so many studies on why so many mental health issues are coming about now, because everybody are, again, broad brush, everybody's dopamine levels are way too high because of this. And it's creating
Shout
a
out
massive,
to Chad. Thanks for dropping in, buddy.
It's creating a massive deficit then for serotonin and endorphins because the dopamine is so high, and that's a big part of why there's been such an influx in specifically depression, but also anxiety. It's a huge leading indicator to that.
So it almost is like being on heroin then, because the dopamine is so fucking high that when you come down, you
and it's not just, it's also sorry to say,
the crash is so hard.
Sorry to say this, all the dudes out there, but internet porn is another catalyst of that too, of that massive dopamine spike.
Instant regret.
It's way too easy. It's like, remember when we used to want, not even jerk off, but like when we used to want to have sex or get off. Like, especially if you had some weird shit you were into, you like really had to put in some work.
Yeah.
Like really actually like dedicate years to like finding finding.
Some
Well,
people
even
just went whoop.
like not everybody
easier
was
to
into
ask
every kink, though, right?
forgiveness than
Like not
permission.
everybody was
No, I know
into
what you
every
mean.
kink.
Yeah. Some girls.
But now,
Dude, I was
now,
licking butts before it was cool.
now it's 35 seconds.
I prefer jelly.
They used to call it the Blake.
Oh, I totally blaked that girl.
Yeah, man. All of a sudden, now these motherfuckers.
But now it's a 35-second. Boom.
Yeah.
Whatever your weird fucking kink is, it exists.
And then now it creates this weird expectation for, and it's mostly men towards women that like, well, if she won't do this thing, you know, it's like, dude, she probably doesn't want you to put a fucking honeydew watermelon up her butt.
Dude.
Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
Dude, I don't care. I don't care who you are though, but like if you're gonna talk about relationships and stuff like that, that's 100% all it takes is communication, whatever it is. Like you're fucking married to somebody, you shouldn't be embarrassed to say a goddamn thing.
no,
Like
yeah, for sure.
Like you know, you put the ring on this finger too. Like if you want to hear it, you're gonna hear it. If you don't like it, go ahead and say so.
Yeah.
At least I know how you feel on the matter, and we can move forward.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. But
That's
yeah, you gotta have. It's creating again, you know, unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
for
Yeah.
again, I mean, I think it's predominantly men, but you know, maybe women too. Maybe every woman out there expects a fucking
All the
rock hard
filters and-
16-inch dong too. I don't know, you know, like
Well, the
And
makeup
100K
and filters, I think, is really creating a
Oh, yeah.
unrealistic expectation on this is what you should look like.
it's the
I mean,
Yeah.
that was magazines before the internet.
Yeah, and-
creating that
filters are in that world what sound replaced drums and stuff are in the recording world. Right?
Auto tune.
Auto-tune, yeah.
Auto-tune, all those things. Because now people are so used to this like
No,
pristine product that if they ever hear
Sherman?
a real recording, they're like, oh, that sounds like shit.
Do you remember when the imperfections in your playing were literally your style?
Yeah.
Like you were a great guitar player, but like you do these little things that are technically incorrect, but you do them so well. That's just like kind of your style. That's
Yeah.
why nobody else can play you. I'll give you Eddie's rig and you can play the riff note for note. You still don't sound like Eddie. It's that old thing I subscribe to. 90% of your tone comes from your fingertips. That's kind of what they're getting into, right?
Yeah.
Or your right hand and how like James Hetfield, like you can do everything with your left hand exactly like he does, but you don't have that same command that he does with his right hand and the
Charisma
down
and
picking
chutzpah.
and like, but
Lefsa.
That's right.
Right, sir.
Lasagna. Lutefisk.
Baba Ganoush.
Gabagool.
I completely lost train of thought. I completely lost my train of
You
thought.
remember the falafel stand? Yeah.
I was so disappointed in what a falafel really
I
was.
totally forgot what my point
Whatever.
was.
We were talking
Not
about
that we did not eat their shit out of that falafel though. That was some good falafel.
It's out of Taomi's.
What it was?
Yeah, it was Taomi's. They had the falafel stand. I just
Oh
remember,
yeah.
They also had really
Yeah.
good euros.
Yeah, they did.
Isn't it?
I don't remember that.
Oh, I'm thinking euros. It was the euros.
It
It
was
was
euros.
a euro
Those
stand.
were some of the best euros I've ever had.
That was the best euros. Because I don't remember.
It was
Granted,
it was
like-
a good euro.
It was a good euro.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great euro. It was a good euro.
It didn't
euro.
compare to the dollar, but
This
it
wasn't
was
a bad euro.
Euro.
So yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about.
Kyle was talking about like all the filters, all the perfection that we see in social media, you know, it just creates this
Mhm.
this unrealistic expectation. And then you see people in real life and it's like, again, that's why I made that correlation to like the music thing, right? All the production is so pristine and so perfect now
Oh,
that if
yeah.
you were to listen to like a real band play real instruments and, you know, and record like a real album,
Right.
you'd be like, God, this sounds like shit.
That's what I was
That's-
saying is like your imperfections in your playing and like the nuances of your rig. And like some guys didn't hook their pedals up correctly. They hooked them up in a weird order or whatever.
Yeah.
These
So it
things
was-
became part of your tone. And that now it's exactly what you're saying. So, and then EMGs came out and everybody sounded the same on guitar,
Yeah.
right? And especially if you put it through a Mesa or this specific guitar rig. And then all of a sudden it went a step further. And now it's in the recording world where it's like, everybody expects this thing that sounds exactly perfect, and it's like that doesn't even sound like a human.
Yeah, and then you see it live, and if they don't play to backing tracks, you're going to be
I know,
pretty
that's
fucking
how-
disappointed.
That's how I felt when I first seen Tool at Ozfest. Outside at Somerset, I seen Tool, and it was like, love that band, but then you go and see them and they sound just like the album. So like to me, it wasn't.
Yeah,
You know,
it was real.
it wasn't like XL Energy Center where you get to see all their light show and crap like that.
Yeah,
you know, so it just wasn't.
well, it's like
It was really.
I mean, like
It was a big
Maiden.
bummer.
You know, I
you were disappointed by it,
Yeah,
is
I
what
was
you're
super
saying.
disappointed
Because it wasn't different
Yeah.
enough from the record. But they were still fucking rock solid.
Well, yeah, that's they can do no wrong, you know, whatever,
Right.
depending on who you talk to.
But yeah, you look at a band too, like Maiden. You know, I mean, those guys
Never heard of her.
never heard of her. Maiden. You know, in fact, for a while there were a few albums that they did where they tracked it live. Remember, they tracked everything live, whatever. But anyways, I digress. The point is, Maiden is, you know, they're in their 60s, right? You go see them live, and they still sound fucking awesome because they're not doing a bunch of what they're doing in the studio is what they do live.
Yeah. They're tracking it. Cloth and I talk about this
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. It's
Alfred 70. and
they're
still
really
on top
performing
of
their
his game.
instruments and they're really tracking their parts.
Yeah.
And they rehearse those parts, and before they go on the road, they do a series of rehearsals to get
Yes.
road ready. And the older you get, I mean, shit, young dope musicians do this when they're young. They get in shape like an athlete gets ready for the football season. Like they go to almost like their own little boot camp. Gwen Stefani, Usher, those are pop artists who are fucking running all over the stage. You bet your ass if you're a guitar player trying to be in a metal band running all over the stage carrying 16 pounds of Les Paul, your ass better be fucking running on treadmill too. Swimming, building up that cardio, eating right, taking care of your fucking body, or you ain't making it through the tour. And that's a disappointment for the people that are paying for your fucking show. Mic drop.
Well, remember what I said about playing
Mic drop.
First Avenue?
Yeah.
I said that was like the hardest show I ever played. And like I never hurt so much off of just 30 minutes of playing. Like, but we didn't like. I used to actually stretch before we play because of how bonkers I'd get. But all I'd really do was just like bend myself over myself, try to suck myself off, and that was my idea of stretching.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when we
So
did that
close.
fucking? Remember that fucking
I didn't.
Mille Lacs Metal Mayhem Festival or whatever?
Yeah.
It was a shit show, but dude, I woke up the next morning. We were fucking hammered that night, but I woke up and jogged like 2 miles.
Well, then we went to the ice cold. We purified ourselves in Lake
the
Mille
waters
Lacs, the waters of Lake Mille Lacs.
Is that the one that we played with as
Yeah,
Four Blood,
Four
yeah.
Blood
Like
played.
Madness.
That was the night I burnt Darth Vader. I mean, I built like a 4-foot pyre and burnt it all at once
Dude, that was a wild. That was. Thank God for
Do you
our.
remember
and
when
made everybody s'mores.
somebody was? God, it might have been me. It was me and somebody for sure. It was me and
I just
somebody.
remember.
We were shooting Roman candles at each other, and one went a little too close to Sean Scott's fucking
Oh, I remember that.
tent.
Yeah. Yeah, he was not too.
And
too
he thought it
happy.
was me that shot it, and I'm like, bro, it wasn't me. And he's like, you're shooting like you're shooting them, you know. And I was like, but I didn't shoot him by you. And he's like, I don't fucking care, you're the person I saw. And I'm like, listen, man, like I still have my Roman candle, it was still going. I was like, you probably shouldn't come much closer, bro, because he's a scary dude when he's mad.
Is that when I'm trying to remember? Is that when I kind of broke the ice? Because I walked up and I said, "Is this about me?" And then everybody was like, "No," and I was like, "Oh, well, then I lost interest."
No, but I remember that
Because
dude.
I said that weekend too.
You
I
said
remember.
that to me
which is
one
a
time.
Seinfeld quote, of course.
Something crazy had just happened, and I was like, Jeremy, I gotta tell you a story, bro. You're never gonna believe this. And you're like, wait, is this story about me? And I was like, no. And you're like, I've already lost interest. And you just turned around and walked away. I died laughing. I knew exactly why it was funny, dude. I fucking just died. I was laughing so fucking hard, dude. It was so perfectly timed, dude. And I don't know if everybody would have appreciated that joke like I did, dude.
No, it was so the Seinfeld references are so outdated. I think only the 4 people in this room. Still
I don't know. It's making a comeback. It's top 10 on Netflix right now.
Good.
As it should be.
As it should be. That's as it should be. Kyle, I can't believe
Jeremy.
I can't believe the 3 of us sitting together in the same room and we're still wearing pants.
Technically,
Oh yeah, you've got shorts on.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, so
It
this
would
is
be the first time that I.
this is a funny moment that I had. You know, they make fun of like cargo shorts, right?
Yeah.
Now, like that's the thing. And I'm like, I fucking love wearing cargo shorts. That's not an old guy thing, right? I'm driving and I see this dude wearing cargo shorts. And I was by myself. And I literally out loud, I was like, see, he's wearing cargo shorts. And then I realized he was like 60. And I just like I fucking burned myself. I was like, he's wearing cargo shorts.
God.
And then I just like kept driving. I was like, fuck, maybe I should get rid of my cargo
Well,
shorts.
it's like the Jason promo pictures we shot, and it was like the one picture. It was just it happened to be the one day that like all of you guys wore shorts and I wore pants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, that was a very unmetal thing to do, is to wear shorts.
That's right, we were wearing shorts.
Yeah.
You didn't get the memo.
Yeah, I didn't get. Yeah, I didn't get the pants.
So when you
That
guys,
was one of my captions.
so when you guys get back together, are you guys gonna wear hats on stage? Hats and shorts.
Pocket protectors.
You remember you and I used to rip on bands that would do that? They'd walk on stage and dude would be wearing shorts and a hat. Like he just got off work or just got done golfing or something. Jeremy and I would just rip on those dudes. We used to rip on dudes for a lot of shit that we're starting to do now too.
Yeah, I always return back to the City Sound practice space where we would wake up hungover as fuck at this practice space on a Saturday morning, and there'd be the band of guys who were probably our age, the age we are now, getting together on a Saturday morning playing just shitty music. We were like, God, I never want to be like that. They're here to get away from their families, playing some shitty covers. We're never gonna be like that.
Do you remember when they fucking got good and started doing Guns N' Roses? They got that new lead guitar player and they learned Guns N' Roses, and then we were like, dude, these guys are like fucking good now. And then they started auditioning singers. They never played a live show. Nobody can be Axl on stage.
Were you? I can't remember if you were in the band during the time where it was again like the Saturday mornings, waking up hungover, and there was a band that was rehearsing a song, and they were playing the same riff over and over. Oh my god, it had to have been for at least a half hour, and it was just dun, ding, dun, 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 dun. I mean, it wasn't War Pigs, but it wasn't Black Sabbath. But it was kind of like that. And then, like, somebody would stop and they'd be like, no, you could hear him, like, murmuring, no, try it again. And I remember Rain finally, he had the meatloaf hair. All of his hair really just stuck to his face. We're all, like, glazed over like honey hams because we're just fucking hungover as fuck.
Snuggling down at the space.
And he just yells, shut the fuck up! Like, at the top of his lungs. And then they stopped.
They stopped. They were done. They all just left.
Jeez.
Dude, they were at it for like a couple hours, dude. I do remember that, dude. And that was bad. That was really bad because it was something super simple. They couldn't get it figured out. And fucking, dude, we were all dying, laying on the floor in the riser and the couch, just sweating in there.
Scoogy McScooge.
Hey.
Kyle!
What is on the horizon for Mr. Scoogy McScooge?
Well, as I was saying earlier in the podcast,
Get his name changed.
Rehash.
Change that to an
the
L.
plan is the fam and I are going to be moving back to Minnesota, hopefully within the next year, and we'll be plugging back into music in the form of continuing Climactic and doing a Motorhead tribute. And anything that comes after that is a bonus.
How much head?
It depends on how motivated we are. But no, got some things in the works with that.
Yeah, guys got an ace in the hole.
That's right. But yeah, I don't know. Just looking forward to
the ace of spades,
coming back home and
curious.
hanging out with some old friends and seeing what venues are still open.
I'm 37.
Not exactly
I'm
old.
not old. Man. You could have called me Dennis.
Didn't know you were called Dennis.
You're about to find out now, did you?
I think here's what we got to do. We got to figure out a way to like find a building that the city, it's got to be in the city. I think that's a big part of the venue problem. Would you guys agree? They're all in the suburbs. Most of them.
Right.
You know, and not like a First Avenue, not like a Caboose or even Fine Lane. Those are kind of big and those are legit. Let them do their deal. Find something a little smaller, like maybe like 800 people. Get it in the city. And we got to do like figure out a way to do like a co-op, like a musician owned where like we run the venue. Do whatever the fuck we want in it.
It's just tough because of the liability, as people are friggin' idiots and will hurt themselves.
Yeah, there's
that's
got to
the
be
hardest
some way to
part.
do it.
Not like
though.
we were when we were younger.
No,
Yeah.
no, at all.
We would never.
No.
No.
But for real though, because
I could kill people, John Melbo.
Jackson and I were
With
just
my
talking
bare
about this.
hands.
A big part of the problem is like, and it needs to be said. It can't. I don't give a fuck. It needs to be said. The reality is like venues can't survive on rock shows alone in this town, so they have to start doing hip hop shows. And the reality is there's a huge amount of violence that comes at hip hop shows. That's why a lot of venues got closed down. That's why a lot of nightclubs in Minneapolis got closed down, was because of fucking stabbings and shootings at hip hop shows. So
That was in Circle Pines, though.
nah, that was downtown Minneapolis. That was fucking the Quest. That was
Epic
fucking
got shut down for that.
yeah. I mean, dude, there's
really?
there's a half a dozen places, and that's just venues. Like there's nightclubs. There's a dozen nightclubs that have come and gone over the last 5-10 years for exactly this. So I don't know how you do it, because you got to be able to avoid the violence. Because I'm serious. That's one of the biggest things, is like just straight up violence. That and then the bands you do bring in, if they're not drawing crowds and they're not profitable, how's any venue going to stay open?
I think that's why so many of these venues now are kind of leaning way more. It's pretty cover band heavy right now, because that's pretty much a
And
guarantee
tribute
you're
bands?
going to get people in there, and as much as we want to think that it's something more pure as musicians, at the end of the day, it's a business. They got to make money. They got to pay their rent, right? And so it's just not not like it was back in the day. I mean, back in the day, it was kind of a good mix, right? But even, I guess, even back in the day, though, you had to cut your teeth. Remember, for a while, at the time it was main events. I mean, the only time there were really original bands was like on a Wednesday.
Yeah, you really had to prove yourself to get in there.
Yep. And then eventually, you could maybe get a Saturday night, but that was big because that meant that a cover band wasn't going to play, so their guaranteed money was going out the window, and they were gambling on the fact that this free band, rock metal bill of original music was going to pack people in, and they were going to be able to, I think the big thing that they found, at least with rock and metal, the original ones, is like people fucking drink.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna make money at the bar at least. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I think cover bands are just it's the safe bet for a lot of venues, and in times when money, I think, is tight for a lot of these places, they're just gonna veer towards what that safe bet is.
Yeah.
You have a show you wish to plug?
Oh yeah, Gravesig's playing October 23rd at 331.
And it's a freak show, isn't it?
It's a freak show, so that means two things. It's free, and then you can also
Do some
get a
K.
little freaky. You get a little.
Oh,
get a little
I
bit of a
thought
cosmic cloud.
I thought it was free, and you guys were doing a bunch of K.
Special K.
ketamine?
Special K. Yeah, bowls of cereal.
But yeah,
Bowls
and
of
it's with the Bloodies and Die Ghost. So yeah, should be a good old grave zigging time. We're gonna get ziggy with it.
It's the 23rd.
23rd of October. Yep.
If people need more info, where do they go?
They've been bloodies for a long time.
They can go to, you can go on Facebook, I guess. Go to Gravesig on
the place we
Facebook.
just bashed for an hour.
Yeah, you're right. We like the old school. Remember we used to text people about shows?
Or just show up at people's houses.
Yeah,
Go door to door.
I used to spend an hour sending out texts.
Yeah,
on
we
mass text.
used to have. Remember, we used to change our voicemails too. Like,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
reached Kyle from Revelance. Our next show is blah 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 or whatever. Or I remember I used to always call 93X like to do requests or whatever, especially during the extreme metal shop because you could like win tickets and whatever. And I would always say, "This is Jeremy from Revelance." I mean, it was always like we were always be closing.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Yeah.
It worked, man. It worked. You guys
Yeah.
fucking drew huge crowds and fucking
Yeah, man, it was
did some
fun.
fucking sweet shit. And
It was a good time.
I think
Perhaps we'll do it
everybody
again
wants
in
to
the
know.
future. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I think everybody wants
Have
to
a
know.
good
is-
time.
Is
All the
that what
time.
they're all seeing here? Is
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
You have to break out a walker and a bigger broom.
A bigger broom. Yeah, I mean, never say never. You never know. I don't know.
It's
Do,
tough.
do you guys
You
even
revel
remember
now.
Revelance?
I mean, that's.
I bet you guys would be a better band now. You guys have got so
Turns out we
much
were
more
just playing
years
311
of
tunes the whole
experience and
time.
equity under your belts.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's tough.
You probably
'cause,
won't be as energetic on stage, but I bet you'd be better musicians.
I mean, if Seinfeld ever does a reunion, then we'll do a reunion.
We'll open.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they basically did a reunion.
On the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
We'll show up
yeah.
and set
They
up
kinda
on the
did. I think it was
stage.
season 5 or 7. That was basically a Seinfeld reunion. Which I guess that would be our equivalent would have been Bobo's benefit show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, reunite in 2008. But yeah, it's been quite a long time since we've played together on stage. But
This would be the next closest thing. This is your Curb the Enthusiasm.
Well, that's
it's
yeah.
no, it'd be. I mean, it's something. You know, never say never. You know,
Dan Nelson said, "I print dick pics."
that was his gift last time.
yeah, definitely never say never. But yeah, there's a lot of I mean, Kyle lives in Michigan right now.
Ben lives in North
Ben
Dakota.
lives in North Dakota. I don't think Jason drums anymore. I don't know that any of us have. Not for any. bad
Chris not
reasons.
interested.
Chris may be interested. I mean,
I got a drum set
We're,
back there. I'm actually getting pretty good again.
yeah. I mean, we haven't really talked about it in much detail. Like, I mean, we were more enthusiastic about the idea of us just getting together to hang out. Because, like, we haven't, we haven't all been in contact
I had
for
to
a long
ask it though,
time.
because that's what everybody else is wondering too.
Yeah.
Is that what they're seeing now? Is the seat, and it had to be yes. So technically no, but maybe.
Yeah,
knows?
it's just like I said, never say never. I think that the three of us are open to the idea of something like that happening. But the idea versus actually it coming to fruition and how do you do it? And it's like
A lot of factors involved.
a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's knocking at the back door.
Worst case scenario, you could blood it. Where remember you guys were sending, he would record drums and then send them to you guys, and you would rehearse to those.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Times that
Remember
Jim
that?
couldn't make it, we recorded just recordings of his drums, and yeah, that worked really well. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you guys were fucking super tight on stage. Like it
a
did.
dolphin's
It was.
butt.
I was blown away.
Watertight.
That was the first time I had ever heard of a band somehow being able to rehearse without even being in the same room. And we had talked about that because we were in Dying Euphoria at that point. And it was the first time I had seen you guys. I don't think it was your first show. I don't think it was anywhere close to that, but it was the first time I had seen you guys. It was at the Triple Rock. And it took about 3 seconds into that first song. And I'm like, oh shit. Wow. And then I think somebody described to me what was happening. So he would like record his drums playing to you guys. You like would record the music without drums, send it to him. Then he would play along to that and record drums and then send you back the drums. And then you guys would rehearse to his drums.
basically,
Something like that.
Basically, like we actually would just we would all record together, but just his drums all the tracks would be separate. So like he would get our tracks without drums, and then we would get his tracks without everyone else. So
And you just rehearse to that.
yeah, and we did that quite often because I mean, like we would try to make a weekend's worth of practice like monthly, but like it seemed to work, and
Yeah, 'cause he was in
gained,
Scotty, right?
yeah, lacrosse, and we gained another hometown from it too. Like Lacrosse, Wisconsin is a great scene to be a part of, and it's a fun town.
Mhm.
So like we
Well, whatever, and they're given too. Well, that when we play down there again, we got to headline because
yeah.
we have from Minneapolis coming down. It was
The key here,
Yeah.
though, is you guys were actually rehearsing your instruments to
Yeah.
instruments, not to a computer click track, not opening up the session and playing the song from front to back and calling that a real rehearsal. I mean, that's a good version of rehearsing, but that's
Yeah.
not rehearsal of a band for a live show. You guys were still doing it the right way.
We really pushed ourselves in that band. Not to say we didn't in Revelance, but like it was just kind of like the next chapter for all of us based on the previous band that we had been in, and I think we kind of honed in on like the do's and don'ts of a band, or like this is what you can do to get to where you want, like so like the experience that all of us had, I think, really played a part into what made the band. because it was, we were all very experienced at that point. So like, and that was a fun band too. Completely. I mean, each of us, all the endeavors that we've had, Cold Storage, Dying Euphoria, For Blood. I mean, like, they're all a different experience because they're with different people and it's different music. But like, I think we can all safely say that we can take a lot of great and fond memories from each of those bands because they're different from the next band that we were, and vice versa. And the more bands that you're in, the more knowledge you gain, and like, I don't know, like, it really sucked when Revelance broke up, but like it led to other things for each of us, and had that not ended, we would have missed out on those experiences. And like, being older now, we can all appreciate that, and like we can appreciate each other, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you can really revel in it.
We can.
Yes, you can.
You went on to do some really cool
described it
shit
when we
after that
actually
too.
Yeah,
Like you went on to do some shit with Impaler.
Yeah, I was an Impaler for 11 years. Did a lot of album releases with them. Did a lot of touring with them. Some amazing shows. Played Europe for the first time with Impaler, and one of my favorite shows ever was opening up for Twisted Sister at the Myth, because like ever since seeing Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Twisted Sister became one of my favorite bands, and I've always like understood D as a front man. I think he's one of the world's greatest front man, so it was a true honor to be able to open up for that. And
SMFs for a cure.
That's right. But yeah, and it was a theatrical band that had a lot of controversy, when they first started with the Tipper Gore PMRC thing, and Twisted Sister was also involved with that. So, it was another thing that Dee Snyder knew who Impaler was, and gave us a shout out and everything. Got to meet and hang out with all the original members.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
because I mean, she was like holding up Impaler Records.
Yeah, Impaler was part of her albums that she disapproved of, or bands that she disapproved of.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So like, it was cool being a part of that history.
He made the speech, like the winning, like him and
John Denver and Frank Zappa.
Yeah, Zappa.
Yeah, and they all looked at D like, you're just a dumb rocker, you're not going to say anything intelligent, and he blew everybody's minds with what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but so yeah,
which was mostly just grunts,
right?
It was really weird.
He just said he wasn't going to take it.
That's right, anymore. but yeah,
no way,
went on to play with a lot of amazing musicians and a lot of different fun bands, and a lot of great memories.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. So you said you got to play in Europe with them. What was the dopest experience while you were in Europe playing with them? Was it a specific venue, or was it a country?
Well, we the first show was in Switzerland, but we played some festivals in Germany, and the one that we were actually booked on was amazing. It was with Blaze Bayley, Sodom, Death SS, a bunch of other bands.
It was a tour?
It was a big open air festival.
Oh, got you.
We were on tour with a Swedish death metal band called Demonical. They really helped us get some extra club dates on the...
Did they just have one monocle?
It was one evil eye.
The singer wore a monocle.
It was red.
Right.
When he got real serious.
Never thought about that.
Remember?
That's good.
What was it?
But
that was the first thing I thought of. I just didn't want to say it.
The coolest show, I think, on that tour was actually a festival that we weren't originally booked on. We were in Eastern Germany, and Demonical was booked to play Hell's Pleasure, and the whole, all of Impaler was there, and their tour manager talked to the promoter and said, "Hey, we got Impaler from the States here. Is there any way that they can jump on the bill?" And almost instantly, I said, "Yeah."
Bill freaked out.
They can headline. So we went on after Melikash, who's a awesome metal band from Israel, and I mean, like, it was primarily death metal bands. Like Grave was on the bill too, and like most of the bands wanted a pretty low key light show, like just dull red lights, not much motion, and like pretty much yeah, like that. So like when we went on, I told the sound guy or the light guy, I was like, you know, break out all the lights that you have. You have a great light show. Use it. And he was like, really? Like he was excited. I get to do something.
Nice.
And then you tell him you're like Kiss.
Yeah, like Kiss. Yeah, and he was like, oh, awesome, and you know, really excited. And so like we ended up headlining that show, and like it was really cool, like to see, you know, all these Germans singing along to these old school Impaler songs that, you know, Impaler's first time over there. So I mean, that was that, and then going into their version of Best Buy, Saturn. It's like a 4-level department store. Walking into their CD section and seeing my very first release with Impaler, like there's an Impaler slot in their selection, and that CD is there. So like seeing a piece of music that you contributed to for sale in a retail store in another country, it was a really big high point in that tour.
That's you know, I know we all have plenty of regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets, but like that's the one thing I am truly upset that we didn't do. Not that, I don't know, we did have some good songs, but I really wish we would have actually had a real recording of something, you know. Again, it sucks that I forgot how to play all that, you know what I mean? Like, and that would.
Do you suppose we could record it at some time?
Do you have any
some point
recording of it?
Somebody else will pay for it.
Right. Do you have any recording? Like, did you guys even take a demo?
We have live recordings, but we tried recording a studio album a couple different times.
Didn't we just
What's that with Jason?
Jason and Chris. We just scrapped it.
And Al Born.
Yeah, Al Born from Banehinge actually was on some demos too.
Yep, yeah. I remember we were blown away because he was yelling out the tempo changes. Remember while he was drumming?
He knew more about the songs than we did.
Yeah, he's like drumming. He's like 198.
Yeah.
Okay, 182. You know, like we were just like, wow, like this is pretty wild.
But didn't we lose that though?
I still
the tempo changes.
Really? Yeah. I thought we lost.
I don't remember what
called dropping the ball.
With the,
I just thought we lost it on one of the hard drives, or
that was the IPR recordings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That they didn't sound that good anyways, but we lost some files. But like,
because we went to save it, and then
that's a whole long story in itself.
Yeah. I remember that was fun actually.
Yeah. That was the power day, because we went down and like we played like every song, we got 12 hours. Let's write an album.
We had solid intentions, but the quality just
it wasn't
didn't
there.
Pan out, so.
We should have just focused on like 2 songs and
and
went. But no, we were too excited to actually be in the studio,
right,
and be mic'd up and recording.
Right.
Yeah, I remember having a hard time recording with one of our drummers because he couldn't play to a click, and that just never. We got what we got back, and it was like, no, we're not putting this out. Like no one's ever heard it. It was
that's what happened.
It was rough.
That's what happened to the second Cold Storage album.
Really?
Yeah, we were like I can't say we were one of the last, but we must have been like one of the last to record with the guy that did. It was like the same guy that recorded Banehinge's first album. I can't remember his name, of course, but he it was all still analog. It was nothing digital, so we were, you know, like when I think rather than try to master it, like Mike the singer got like some computer program thinking it was gonna master our album for us, and it did not. It just sounded like it was in freaking underwater, you know, like it was really miserable, but it was a good album.
Yeah.
I think Magnum, Dan the Man, burned me a copy.
But it's out there. But yeah. But
that's where I got the copy from. Probably from you.
Probably from me back then. Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, it was cool. It would have been cool. Like I said, we had a song where we had Steve Wolf came down and sang a track. We had one track where we had Guanzin and Avery.
Ryan Guanzin
from Quasar come, and they did that song One More Hit we had. There was like the breakdown part or whatever, the Zale part that I ripped off. They played like a tribal drum over like because I one of the things I always wanted to do was like you ever seen Sepultura and they do like that big drum circle?
Yeah.
They all do the ooh mama ooh ma. Oh man. That's the one thing, like, isn't that again, it comes down to that, like, that tribes mentality, you know, where, like, everybody's together doing something, like, super cool, just doing a drum circle, like, I seen one with, like, it was, like, Sepultura and Pantera and White Zombie and whatever, it must have been, like, one of the Ozfests or whatever that I went to, like, I went to the one that was at the Metrodome when Manson was on the bill.
They wouldn't let Manson in Wisconsin or whatever.
But
what was your when you were on tour in Europe doing the shit with Impaler? What was your favorite country to be in? Like who? Actually, fuck that question. That's a stupid question. That's a basic bitch question. I have a way better question.
Germany.
How different are European fans or European crowds versus American crowds?
Completely different.
In which ways?
Well, mainly that they're European.
Right.
Some were a pooping, but
it's a whole.
I can't believe I got that one.
It's so much more organic. Like, it's a religion over there. They
we would have fit in.
They appreciate. Yeah, right. They tend to appreciate, I would say, music in general more than Americans do.
Right.
You know, like the festivals. Like, I saw some of the most bizarre things at some of these festivals. Like there was a Judas Priest mobile. There were Manowar tents. I remember Tom and I saw this dude getting out of his tent. He was wearing boxers. He had just woken up, but he still had a bullet belt on.
That sounds like you, actually.
Maybe it was me.
If I seen it 1,000 times.
But like, it just like I remember like there was this guy from Greece, and he couldn't speak English, but like we somehow were still communicating. You know, we were naming off bands and like, oh yeah, this or that, and like metal is just so much more of a universal language over there, and it felt great to be performing in front of that, because it felt like, not that like the shows that we play here that people don't appreciate you, but I mean, like the entire crowd, everyone genuinely appreciates you. Yeah. And like even this record here, like the reviews I've been reading on this, like, I mean, I've had to translate a few of them, but there's like a guy in Belgium that,
for the listeners, let them know what you're talking about, because some people aren't watching.
Right. Well, this is the most recent thing that I've been a part of.
This camera. No, this one.
Camera
the one
one?
in front of
Camera
you.
two. Camera one?
No, when you talk, it's this one that's facing at you.
Say something.
Here.
Something.
People get the point. Well, anyways, this is the 70s muscle rock band Thor, and managed to get a couple tracks on their 2020 release, and they're called Wormhole and Defender Die. And the lineup for those songs are Tom Croxton, Matt Hamilton, John Leibel, Ted Jellicke, myself, and my dad even does keyboards on Wormhole. So it's Cleopatra deadline release, and so like it got a lot of reviews in Europe, and just like the reviews, people like dissect the song and like listen to each instrument, and you know, like are grateful like to hear a Hammond organ. That's what my dad played on the record, because you typically don't hear a Hammond organ in music anymore. It's,
you hear a turkey organ.
Right. I was just gonna ask, what is it?
Hammond, you know, like with the Leslie, with the rotating speaker and the horns. Like you hear like Deep Purple,
Okay.
John Lord.
Yeah.
So it's a very specific type of.
Yeah,
It's a big, heavy keyboard.
Yeah, it is. It weighs a ton.
From growing up, spending time at Kyle's parents' house and stuff, I've seen it, and
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
My dad used to lug
I've
around.
never seen one. I have no idea. This is where we need like a producer.
Right.
His
Right.
dad has a
Jamie, pull
very
that up.
large, heavy organ.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's still like the.
Have you tried to
so-
lift your dad's organ?
He let me play it.
You played with his
I
dad's
played-
organ?
I played with his dad's organ.
Have you tried to move it around?
It takes 4 people.
4 people. to
Kyle
move
and I
it?
played with it at the same time once.
We like to call it a quartet.
So your dad probably can't move his own organ without assistance from room to room.
At least without equipment.
Anyways,
There's a lot
Hey,
of
you
huffing and
invited
grunting.
them.
Anyways.
Anyways,
Meanwhile,
How many times did I tell you I was only going to stay here for like an hour?
that's true.
Brother, no, you got to
Brother, you
stay
gotta
for the whole thing.
But
Anyways,
We
I
probably
had
should
to say
wrap this
that,
up soon. We've been going for almost 4 hours.
I do
Yeah.
have a class in the morning.
Yep, and
It's almost 10
I think
o'clock.
Chris Welch is actually waiting for us. We're doing another meeting reunion.
Is he standing outside?
I think so.
right?
Christopher Douglas.
hold
Hello,
on.
Chris.
Is he?
Holding the
I think so.
boombox.
Is he outside?
I think so.
Social.
All right, let's wrap this up, guys. Plug you guys shit. You're gonna start a TikTok.
I need a big plug.
Ben's gonna start a TikTok and a Twitch, and he's gonna make cool shit with wood on it. Stay tuned.
You need an OnlyFans for that.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Jeremy, you got
Mostly
the
foot
Gravesig
stuff.
shit, and
Yeah.
what is it? Jeremy Blake Music.
Yeah, on YouTube, Jeremy Blake Music. Otherwise,
And
just
Instagram,
Jeremy
I think,
Blake
too, right?
everywhere.
Oh.
Everywhere else is Jeremy Blake or whatever. That guy is fucking too
Or
old.
whatever.
And Scooge,
He's the only.
plug your shit, brah. Where can people follow you?
On
Just
Instagram, just search Kyle Skogquist.
At Kyle.
Check out my
Skogquist.
music page. I'm gradually putting up old music videos, mainly live stuff, and
Did you say on your YouTube page?
on YouTube as well.
What's
Just,
your YouTube?
Just I think
Killer Kyle, isn't
is
it?
it Killer Kyle? Is that what I have it under? Look up Kyle Skogquist on YouTube.
I'll throw the description. I'll throw the link in the description once we find it. After
Yeah,
the show.
between Instagram and YouTube, I'm putting up old videos of all the different bands I've played in over the years, and gradually going to be filtering in new stuff. In the next year, keep an eye out with Climactic. We got a new album coming out soon, and look forward to.
Dan's still drumming for Climactic.
Yes, sir.
So in case people don't get the connection right away, Daniel Copy from Reaping Asmodea, who's also been on the podcast. That's the drummer for Climactic, and
And also the singer for Gravesig.
yep, also the singer for Gravesig. Which
Yep.
fuck you guys. You're over there giggling.
It's all
You
incestuous.
fuck-
By the way, it is
That's
just
why-
Kyle Skogquist on YouTube.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
just search
okay.
my name on
Dope.
Instagram and YouTube.
Sick. All right,
So-
yeah. If you guys want to see me fucking say dumb shit on the internet, hold on, we'll do that in a minute. If you guys want to see me say dumb shit on the internet, all my shit's just Jared Singer Live, whatever you're on, and you'll see me say a bunch of stupid shit. Otherwise, hit like, subscribe, go to the Patreon if you got some money to burn. Patreon.com/Jared Singer Live. All right, yeah, dude, this was fucking fun, and I already know what you guys want to do on the way.
You're
out,
not getting
so
the pyramid, but you are
We're-
getting.
You're not,
We're
no
gonna do it.
pyramid.
You are getting the old revel horns.
we are gonna definitely do this. We're gonna go to the main cam. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta hit the outro while we do it. All right, hold on. Here we go. We gotta mute it up.